The Chicago Bears had a busy week, and it all started with Caleb Williams and his pro day. They didn't just look at Caleb Williams last week. They were all over the place looking at all the college prospects and their pro days. The Black Bear Podcast crew going to break down the pro day and other things. And then after that, we're going to jump into the ninth pick. A lot of people forget we got that ninth pick. We're going to jump into that and some of these D-line prospects that we could possibly take with that ninth pick. All that and more right after this.
Stand down or lay down and get smacked with the pole.
By this time, everybody on that roster should know what it means to beat the Packers. It's simple.
Oh, if I was a coach, Justin Fields would have been balling from day one.
I love that intro just because it's like it's actual sounds and I gotta change it. Y'all still see Justin Fields all over the damn thing. I gotta scrub Justin. Hey, you see the jersey, y'all see the jersey. I gotta scrub Justin from the intro. I gotta scrub him from the background. So I haven't completely got around to doing that yet. So but I will. But Caleb Williams finally had his pro day. And it was interesting to me because I expected more, if that makes sense. I definitely expected more, and I don't know why I expected more. But when he went out there and I watched it, he went out there, he looked it didn't look like he was trying to raise his draft stock, if that makes sense. It kind of looked like he was thrown with a little bit of arrogance, Caleb Williams. He was like, "Oh, I'm going number one. I'm good. I don't need, you know what I mean? I know I'm going number one, regardless if it's with the Bears or if it's with the Commanders or whoever trade up for that." So I noticed that. I peeped that at his pro day. A lot of people was there. The media was crazy. It was almost like fucking like we talked about, like a LeBron type scene when he was coming out, but not quite to that extent. He threw 50 passes. He threw 50 passes. I think I counted 4 that hit the ground, and not all of them was his fault. Like I said, look, if people can look at this pro day and they can take it how they want it, you can judge it, or you can like just have fun with it. And I'm just having fun with it because I'm not. This pro day ain't gonna make or break Caleb Williams. It ain't gonna move the needle in one direction or another, but the Chicago Bears was loaded. We sent 9 people to that damn pro day. that means they wanted eyes. They wanted multiple set of eyes on this dude. They wanted multiple different people to talk to him. That's my initial take. I got some more points from this pro day, but I'm gonna slide it over to one of y'all. I don't know who want to jump in and just what was your initial takeaway from that Caleb Williams pro day?
I'm with you on it, man. It was comfortable would be my word for that for him. He just it was like, it was just like he was back at home, man. It was like with no worries, no cares,
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever. And I know he talked a lot about doing it for his fellow teammates and his guys, which I like that part, I like that he was really, really out there, and he talked a lot about, making sure him and his teammates had fun today and all that kind of stuff. Which I think you have to have some joy in your job. But I also like what I did. Like, I mean, the throws I wasn't impressed by. I mean, not many of them. But what I did like about the pro day was that every time somebody would ask him about the pro day, he would initially go to, I overthrew these 2 passes. I missed him over on the side. I need to work on that. I need to work on this. And I like that. It was like he didn't care about the good things that he did. He didn't want to talk about that. He instantly went to, this is what I need to work on and this is what I have to do. I mean, that's what I got from the pro day. So what about you, Dev?
I'm kind of with you guys. Didn't really like blow me away with anything. But like we'd already mentioned, he said that he was out there to help his receivers because he felt like his draft stock didn't really need to go up or down or really anything at all. So but he was out there to help his receivers, make sure that they got the opportunity to shine. If he said he wasn't going to throw, I guarantee you all those teams don't go out to USC like they did. At the very least, they don't send 9 guys out there like the Bears did if Caleb isn't even going to throw. So throwing that part in, it brings more eyes onto his teammates, and I can respect that as a guy who likes somebody that is able to be there for his team. It looks out for his team, looks out for the players that he works with. I respect that. So I enjoyed hearing that. And I did notice that I made a point to write down that anybody who doubted Caleb's abilities before his pro day, no matter what happened during his pro day, it wasn't going to change their mind. So it looked like he was going out there having fun with it. I saw him goofing around at one point. I thought I saw him acting like a gorilla or something. And I like that. Somebody that can go out there, have fun with his friends, have fun with the guys, just hanging out, throwing around, and just kind of being more relaxed than what we usually see out on the football field. Because if you want game film, which isn't what you get at the pro day, if you want game film, there's a load there. So really, I just feel like people aren't really as concerned, I think, with his abilities physically. A lot of the criticisms I hear mostly are about his mental state or mental toughness is what I meant to say.
Right.
And just concept. And personally, I'll be honest with you guys. If you can go out there and win games, I don't care what you do. I mean, Dennis Rodman was very, very rising of a personality here in Chicago for the Bulls back in the 90s. And he didn't always play by everybody else's rules and how he acted towards the media or the rest of the team or whatever. But he went out there and he did what he was supposed to do. So
he handled business.
The Bulls franchise as a whole loves him for that. And if Caleb can do something similar with the Bears, I don't think they're going to care one bit about all the countless things that they've been talking about over the past few weeks. But a lot of it does boil down to what are you able to do, you know?
Y'all both brought up some interesting points, actually, that because you just said as long as he balling, you you don't care about the extra curricular activities. And then I look at it this way: the Chicago Bears, it's this simple. Whether you think he's a diva or you think he's this and that and the third, it's this simple to me. The Chicago Bears, and I ran this by my brother. He didn't like it too much, but the Chicago Bears have to get used to. They have to get ready for a star quarterback. Not even just a superstar player. We're not used to having that in the building. We're not used to having that aura. Yeah, we have good players. We got talented guys. We have Jalen Johnson. We have Montez Sweat and guys like that. We have some names, and we have had some names. Brandon Marshall, Jay Cutler. But the potential that Caleb, the star potential that Devin Hester, Hall of Famer, by the way. The potential potential that Caleb Williams has, we haven't had it. The Chicago Bears got to know how to harness that. They got to know how to just nurture it. And you got he gonna be a little quirky. He gonna rub the media the wrong way. He gonna say some things that we not gonna like, but that's stardom. He's a superstar right now. He's made millions and millions of dollars. No other player has done that in the past. The NIL just got implemented. The man is a star in his own right, and we got to get used to it. Look, Aaron Rodgers. This is what the way I look at it. Aaron Rodgers. Packers fans do not like that man attitude, but guess fucking what? He is great. So deal with it. I hated hearing Packer fans say like Aaron Rodgers is a prick. He's this and that and the third. rude. I'm like, dude, he balling for y'all. Just shut up. Like, what are you?
I was gonna say. I mean,
but that was that's how I view the whole superstar Hollywood diva, whatever word people want to use to describe Caleb Williams. That's the way I view it. Look, if you like Aaron Rodgers, if you okay with what he did, he was not good with the media. He said a lot of wild shit. He's quirky, but the dude was a monster and you couldn't deny it. You know?
Yeah, no, I'm with you on it. I just, like I said, I want to emphasize it like this.
Yep.
I'm okay with this marriage and not sure, how I'm okay with walking my daughter down the aisle and handing it over, and accepting this person in my family. Right. But we have certain traditions and rules in this family that he has to abide by.
Mm-hmm.
It's not for you to just come in and, into our family and think you're going to change. You are not. We eat Christmas dinner at this time of year. We go here for vacation. This is the structure of our family, Caleb.
Right.
Hey, do I care what anything else? Do I care about, any of all that? No. But like I said, once you come in the building, I want you to be that man. When you get out on that field on Sunday, Thursday, Monday, I want you to be that man. Tuesday, whatever you do, as long as it's legal and it don't take you away from the game of football and you're not getting suspended or anything like that going, you know what I mean?
Right.
Go right ahead, bro. I'm fine with that. But don't come in thinking you're finna implement, some other kind of atmosphere that's going to deter, not even because, like you said, this is our franchise quarterback. This is our decade dude, right? We want other players to want to come here too. We don't want other players or good players or, potential draft picks or veterans that want to come in the future too. No! To be like, I don't want to go play with Caleb though, because I, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want him to get a bad reputation either. That's, you know what I mean? For being, that's the only thing. That's the only thing I'm not saying it's going to happen. I just want to be slightly fearful of. We want to make it welcoming for all players and success at the same time.
I'm glad you ended with that because it's a fine line between criticism and still remembering he is not yet. He's not our quarterback yet, but he is your quarterback. You know what I mean? It's a fine line between criticizing a player, and this went for Justin. This went for Mitchell Trubisky. I would say Jay Cutler, but I hate
Jay Cutler.
I despise Jay Cutler, so I'm not going. This don't go for Jay Cutler.
Okay,
but Justin and Mitch, it's a fine line between criticizing them and then, hey, okay, let's get back on track because this is your quarterback. He is here to win games. You don't win without him, so it's a fine line between that. Jalen Johnson's kind of touched on that a little bit. We're gonna look at that a little later, but I gotta get y'all boys' opinion on this. So the Chicago Bears was out there with like 9 representatives. Blah, blah, blah. We know he was loaded out there. All 32 teams was at his pro day. The Chicago Bears went out to dinner with him, and they invited his friends to see how to see how he interacts. Y'all saw draft day. The dude, the potential number 1 pick, had no friends. Nobody liked him. Nobody went to his birthday.
Friends showed up at his birthday party.
Exactly. So the Bears, they went out to dinner the day before the pro day kicked off, and they invited his friends to get a good look and feel on how he vibes. Because you're gonna be in the locker room commanding men much older than you. What y'all think about that, y'all? What's y'all opinion on the Chicago Bears inviting his friends as well?
I think that they went ahead and watched the movie Draft Day. At least that I mean, that's just he took a page out of obviously it might be something that they genuinely do otherwise, but the concept is there that the movie hit on, that if you can't lead your team, if you don't have your friends and stuff like that from your team, then how can you expect to lead somebody else's team, like a team that you are walking into? And at the quarterback position, you are the leader of that team.
Yes, sir.
May not necessarily be veteran status or anything like that, but you are the one that is supposed to lead that team and be in charge, and we need to be able to trust you with that.
Without a doubt. We got to know that you can go in that locker room and see people you don't know, and you could make friends with them. You know what I mean? You could befriend them and get to know each other. What you think about that, Wes? The Bears invite his friends to dinner.
I think they just trying to do that. A lot of people. Let me track back. They're gonna pick Caleb Williams, right? They know they're gonna pick Caleb Williams,
right?
And I think they want to know everything about. Like I said, this is going to be a long. They want this to be a long relationship. Pose is probably hanging his job up on this pick and this decision right here.
Yeah.
So he wants to know everything. I mean, I even read in one article that the Bears he's going to be in Chicago soon, and they're going to do a full psych evaluation on the guy. Like they want to know this man down to probably his DNA and his chromosomes. Like, and you want to know how he functions with people, how his friend. Because guess what? Even if he don't get along friendly with the guys in the locker room, we want to know like who he's hanging out with. Because like I stated, and we were just talking earlier, I want to know what he's going to be doing after. Is these guys going to hinder him? We can go back to, like, I was just watching Dynasty, when looking at the whole Aaron Hernandez segment on it, and how how that affected the Patriots. How what I mean? How that player was, but how the outside life kind of ruined that for him as well. And you want to know that in an organization. There's stuff you have to know. It's a lot of things that affect NFL players outside of the locker room and being good on the field, as far as personal life things like legal stuff. Like I said before, as long as as these people, good people, as these good people around him. I mean, we're not asking for devout Christians, but we want good people around him as well, because they might be flying into Chicago. They might be at the games. Caleb's family and his everything is going. Like you said, he is our superstar, right? His parents is going to be known for being a part of the Bears. His friends, everything in his life is going to be a part of being a part of the Bears, and they want to make sure that everything is good. And if they see something, be like, "Hey, dude, that guy Brandon is not cool for you."
Right.
All the rest of your friends, we're great with them, but that one guy we're kind of worried about. We're going to go to that next level in life. We just advise. We're not telling you what to do, Ken. We just say keep an eye out and just notice that this person might not be in your best interest.
We had Mark Eddy in the chat. He said, "I don't really care how he acts as long as he helps us win games and get a Super Bowl. I'm sure he will do fine." I agree. Look, that's just kind of what I think. It's definitely a limit to that. You don't go too far with it. Like you said, you better hang out with the right people, with the right crew, and make sure, because Justin handled Chicago fine. We didn't get any crazy news updates with Justin Fields and about him just going out doing anything crazy. We didn't get any of that news about Justin Fields, and not even with Mitchell Trubisky. Back to the dinner thing, when the Chicago Bears, Ryan Pace, and I would say John Fox, but John Fox didn't want Mitch. We all knew John Fox didn't want Mitch. He wanted Deshaun Watson. Ryan Pace went behind his back, and when he had his dinner with Mitchell Trubisky, this is just a contrast of how different the Bears organization is. Ryan Pace scheduled that dinner with Mitchell Trubisky incognito. Like, when they made the dinner reservations, they made the dinner reservations under Jim McMahon. It wasn't known. Like, no, John Fox, the head coach, did not want Mitch. Ryan Pace was secretive about it. He was very paranoid about drafting Mitch. That's why he traded up to number 2, thinking people wanted him. Nobody fucking wanted Mitch. But anyway, that's just a huge contrast of the way Ryan Poles is running this thing compared to how Ryan Pace ran this thing. Mark Eddy said, "I agree. I think Poles is doing a good job digging deep, since this guy will be the face of the franchise for years, hopefully." And I agree with that. And we saw another thing. We saw Ryan Post go up to his parents, Mama Williams and Papa Williams, and shake hands. It just me. It looked to me when I saw the clip. Y'all fellas saw the clip, right?
Yeah.
It looked to me like it was one of the, if not their first, one of their first time like meeting each other. It wasn't like, oh yeah, we spoke yesterday, or oh we met the other day, or at the combine we met, and this and that and the third. It seemed like they was very like fresh and meeting each other. What y'all think about that interaction?
Yeah, I kind of got that too. As I watched it, and then as I, watched everybody talk about it, everybody kind of, I think a lot of, the talking heads, that they read too much into it. A lot of them was like, oh yeah, he went up, they posed, they went up, they shook the family hand and all of that. It was kind of more of, like you said, almost an introduction,
Right.
Hey, I'm Wes. Hi, how you doing? Caleb's parents, right? I'm Wes. Hey, how you doing?
Right, exactly.
Like, it wasn't good to see you again, man. Is your foot still hurting? Yeah, you took a tumble last night. It wasn't like what we did before kind of thing. It was kind of like yeah, we know you. Hi. And they just walked away.
Yeah.
Even the Keelan Allen thing, like when I seen the clips of him coming out.
I was gonna mention that next. I'm glad you jumped.
Okay,
into
yeah,
it.
I'll just roll right to even
roll right to it.
Interaction, and everybody was saying like, everybody's like, oh yeah, he said what's up to Keenan Allen, and it was like, I don't know if it was Rob Barker or somebody mentioned it, and I was like, I caught it too. It was like, he said it was like when you see a girl that you don't really want to talk to or something, or
oh my god,
he gave that kind of look away move, like that, like you ain't looking, like, man, what's up with that? Kind of walk past, and then Keenan kind of like, hey, Kate, he turned, oh, hey, what, hey, like it.
So
it looked like you could definitely read into it at that too, but like I said, maybe he wasn't expecting to see Keenan Allen there, because Keenan Allen does live in
No, he wasn't.
Maybe he didn't think that was actually Keenan Allen. Maybe he thought it was another Bears personnel, that maybe it was somebody that wasn't that important, quote unquote, And when he figured out it was Keenan, he was like, oh, what's up, And then a lot of, like I said, people read into the Keenan. I've never seen a player come. He lived there.
He does live in Cali.
He lives in California. He's there. It's like, and think about it. His pose could have been getting off the plane. Hey, Keenan, what you doing today? Yeah, you want to swing by the pro day with us today? Show some love.
But even if that's how it went down, is it still not like big?
Yeah.
Like, okay, look. Joe Burrow
doesn't go away. It doesn't go away.
Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase played together. I don't think Joe Burrow went to his pro day. You know what I mean? And they drafted him. So I don't know. I just think it's significant that Keenan Allen was there. But back to your main point you made, Wes, about the Keenan Allen and how it was like your ex-girlfriend. My brother was telling me that, and I'm like, look, man, I wish I put the clip in our discussion so I could download it and put it on the screen, but I didn't do that. I don't see it that way at all. I think Caleb Wiliams came out the tunnel, came out the locker room, came out of wherever he was at, and there was so many people there. He was just looking around. First of all, he knows Keenan Allen, but it ain't like they best friends. He ain't gonna just spot Keenan like, oh, you know what I mean? The Bears had a lot of people there in Bears gear. So he just walking, looking, and then he was looking in the stands like the whole time. That's when I think people like, oh, he trying to act like he don't see him over there. Me personally, I don't think he saw him. I don't think Keenan Allen is that big into Caleb Wiliams' life to where he gonna just spot the dude. You know what I mean? But I definitely heard that narrative going out around like he's
I can tell you this.
Already being weird. You know,
you can see blue and orange.
Right, but
there's a lot of
the Bears. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a lot. The Bears had a lot of representatives there. It's like, okay, that's another Bear guy. That's a scout dude they brought with them.
Right. That's what I said. I agree.
But even then, when he came out the locker room or the tunnel, he looked in that direction for like 0.3 seconds. You know what I mean? It wasn't like he was staring over there and then looked away. He just looked and then looked in the stand. Then I guess they called him over there or whatever. And they shook hands. But
I said,
I thought that was
He
funny.
looked over there like he was looking at a receiver that hadn't gotten open yet. So he looked a different way.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Keenan Allen thing went down, which was interesting. All 32 teams were there. Even if you ain't getting Caleb, they still sent somebody to go watch him. You know what I mean? As they should. Like I said, the Bears had a busy week. JJ McCarthy had his pro day on Friday. Matt Eberflus was there watching JJ McCarthy. That's big. And they should do their due diligence, which they will. I trust Ryan Poles to do his due diligence on each of these quarterbacks. You know what I mean? A couple of them got pro days next week, but JJ McCarthy had his. They were there. Matt Eberflus was there. I don't think Ryan Poles went, but Matt Eberflus was there. Joe Alt, he had his, the left tackle. He had his pro day. Chris Bears, offensive line coach and run game coordinator, was there. He was actually doing drills with Joe Alt. And now that I mentioned that, I saw a tweet from Olin Kreutz, right? And y'all might have seen this too. He was like, it's the time of year again. Yeah. And he was like, it's the time of year again where fans whine and cry all season about O-line. And now it's your chance to get a stud. But not everybody wants the receiver now. They want the shiny toy. What y'all think about that? Because Joe I'm probably gonna butcher his name. Olu Fashanu, I think that's his name. They are studs. Penn State left tackle. What y'all think about that? That statement from Olin Kreutz.
Truer words have never been said.
I kind of agree with it. I know I fall into that trap all the time. I start wanting the running back, wide receiver, whatever.
Right.
And all of a sudden I'm like, oh shit, we ain't gonna need any of those players if we don't got no line.
Exactly. I agree with it. I think I honestly, when I seen it, I'm like, should we just take Joe Alt? Should we just shore it up? Because y'all know how I feel about Braxton Jones. I'm not a fan of his ass. I don't like Braxton Jones. I think he's soft. It's one thing to get beat by spin moves and rip moves, but when you can't anchor down, when you don't got a solid enough base to just defend another man bull rushing right at you, I think that's just, I think it's soft. But so what y'all think? Did it make y'all think about just taking offensive lineman with 9?
I've been thinking about it. Yeah, in our pre-show that we kind of had before we went live, I was saying like my gut is really telling me kind of like, I mean, if it wasn't all this hype for Caleb, trade back. Get a bunch of. I looked at what we got next year as far as picks. I think it's like 10, 11.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh my god.
Next year we are stacked.
Like, man, do we? And that's my thing. I'm looking at next year and I'm like, honestly, that sold me on Caleb. Like, we did good this offseason. Like, if we just go out and use what we got, shore up a couple solid more spots everywhere else, we can find another Joe Alt, right? Ain't that the narrative? We can find another, defensive end, an edge, maybe. But the story is, are you gonna find another Caleb Wiliams? And that's how I feel about,
not
the
next
whole
year.
Thing. That's what I'm saying. Or when, and that's the narrative.
The QB stock, like talent for next year, is projected to be a lot lower than this year. Now, there's always just projections, but like one of the guys, I think the guy from Texas, he decided to not declare for the draft this year because of all the other really talented QBs. I think that's
Texas.
What I heard.
Is that the Manning, or am I tripping?
No, Arch Manning is the backup. He's the second string quarterback. But the guy in front of him was thinking of declaring for the draft, and he decided against it because of all the other talented quarterbacks. So he would have been barely in the top 10 in terms of quarterback in like the draft, and next year he's probably expected to be number 1. And so when you have a guy make that type of a jump because of just by waiting a year, it tells me that the talent is more this year than next year. So I think you, as a general manager, Poles probably it took that into consideration and probably played a role in how he decided to handle the Field situation. Because if you let Fields play one more year with this new team you've built, do you get anything for him next year? No, because his contract would be up unless you picked up his 5th year.
Yep.
And if he doesn't succeed this year, then you've kind of lost out on your potential for the great quarterbacks that are of this year. And you're 1 or 2 years further into the contracts of the team that's on there for the players that are there now. And so I understand the decision. Don't get me wrong, I didn't like it, but I've learned to.
I think 70% of the fans didn't like it.
I mean, there were people that weren't even Justin Fields fans that didn't like it just because of what they got. Like, how are you going to tell me that this guy that, like, at least 60, if I remember correctly, there are a number of polls that went around different places, but at least 60% of the fan base wanted him to stay here. And you trade him away for a 6th round pick next year, not even this year, but next year, which with the potential for a 4th, but knowing the Steelers organization, they're smart enough to realize, hey, let's just not play Fields in 51%. They could play him in their like last 6 games, give them an idea of the type of player they're going with for the following year if they decide to pick up his 5th year. But
the Bears ain't getting that. Ain't turning into a 4th. There's no way that pick.
I don't think anybody. The only way it happens is if Russell Wilson gets hurt in like the 2nd or 3rd game. That's the only way I see that happening at all.
And my whole thing is everybody keeps saying like we had to get rid of Justin because unless he balled out next year, we would have to let him go for nothing and all that. But we talk about the 6th round pick like it's nothing. We keep saying
that like it is.
Held on to him, so
at that point, we would have got you let him go for nothing anyways.
That's exactly what that's where I'm standing at with it. And that's my whole Justin Fields defense on that. But I'm not going to dig really too much into that. I do think as far as talking about next year's draft talent, as far as how we weighing this, are we saying that next year's offensive line talent is going to be worse? Because that's what we looking at. Like, if you're looking at the overall thing, I understand if you're talking about quarterback, but we're going to get our quarterback now. Yeah. Can we wait to invest next season into that O-line? Like I said, we did shore it up. We put some good rotation pieces in there, some veterans in there, some good pieces, some little pieces in there. We bandaged up that hole for now. But, now we can shore up everything else. If that's the case, should we just take what we got, get what we can, best player at every, that's what I think we should do. Honestly, just get the best player at every number when it comes up. Obviously, first, take Caleb, 9. I say go edge. Later, those 4th round picks, maybe get a young offensive lineman that we could probably just pop in just in case shit happens,
We got some chats. I'm gonna just get through these chats and we're gonna move on to our expectations for Caleb Williams in his rookie season. I'm gonna start with this one because I had it up there. Mark Eddy said, I think it was just the Chicago media making something out of nothing. Williams even mentioned Keenan in his press conference. There was no hate from Caleb there. I'm telling you, the Chicago sports media loves dividing us fans. Jeremy Rodriguez, my boy Phantom, he said, what's the guarantee that any of these top 3 quarterbacks in the draft are going to work out and succeed? How many Heisman winning QBs drafted number 1 have been absolute trash? See Jamarcus Russell. I got these dudes at my job talking about this. He thinks that Caleb will be a Jamarcus Russell. Look, don't even put that in the air. I don't care what side you on, Justin's side or Caleb's side. If you think he gonna be Jamarcus in any way, shape, or form, then you are projecting that your season, your next 3 or 4 years with Caleb will be just pitiful. Like it'll be a dark place for a Bears fan. No, you're not being optimistic at all if you're thinking Jamarcus Russell. Yeah. And you just seeing dark days ahead. And that's not a way. I don't think that's a way to look at a rookie quarterback.
Life in general.
Right. Yeah. Life in general.
Yeah,
life in general.
I'll put it this way. I think, watch a lot of sports all week. I think it was on The Herd or something said like that. And he wasn't talking about Caleb. I think maybe he was. But he was just like, who has the higher ceiling out of all these quarterbacks? Probably Caleb Williams, right? Right. Okay, that's what everybody's saying. He probably got the higher ceiling. Who has the worst floor out of all these quarterbacks? Mm-hmm. We could get a lot worse with Daniels, Penix, Bo Nix. You know what I mean? You're talking about Jamarcus Russell. One of those guys could be like that Trubisky kind of God. What's awful? Don't even pick it up. I mean, we probably can't even, sell his jerseys. He's that bad. At least Caleb, we could probably make money off of him. At least we
were making money off of Justin Fields too.
Ain't no Trubisky jerseys being sold.
Yeah, I can remember that too many Trubisky. My brother had one. That's about not too many people had that. And that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I'm okay with what Caleb's floor could be. He could be just a run of the mill, what everybody say, a system quarterback. As long as he makes the right decisions, as long as he does what he's supposed to do, as long as y'all do that. That's probably his floor. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul could be his floor. Like he's just a great point guard. You know what I mean? Ooh. Just saying. Just saying.
Hey, I would take it. Give me CP3. Point guard.
That's what I'm saying. I will. But have we seen like LeBron, Jordan, Giannis, like these, crazy like superstardom out of Jordan Daniels or Bo Nix or JJ McCarthy? Do we expect them to be like that? No, Tom Brady wasn't even a superstar until for like almost 3 Super Bowls. Then people was like, "Oh man, this guy is that's TB." At this first Super Bowl, it was just like, "Okay, can he do it again?" All right, we don't see that in him. This probably be it. We'll never think about him again. And then he did it again. But with Caleb, like I said, his ceiling is not even a ceiling; it's a cloud or a star or asteroid or a supernova somewhere out in the universe. That's how high he could possibly go.
If you put in comments in the chat, it's a lot of them coming through. Don't leave. We're gonna get to each comment. We're gonna read them and we're gonna talk about it. I want fans to have their voices heard. Mm-hmm. I know a lot of podcasts out there just skip over comments and they don't even recognize you. He also said the 6th round pick is the draft equivalent of letting him go for nothing. I look at that as like you had to.
But that's a false statement right there. Think about it. Because Brock Purdy, last pick in the draft.
Yep.
True.
You see what I mean?
Yep.
I mean,
like I said, I can bring up Tom Brady.
You never know what that pick might turn into.
You see, it's a possibility to go get. Like I said, we just talked about it. Not every Heisman player, not every first round player, does great things. That doesn't mean nothing. I wouldn't say the pick is the equivalent of nothing. It's better than just letting him go walk next season.
Alex Silva says the media does divide us. It depends on who you watching. And
straight.
It definitely will lead the fan base to a division split. So depends on who you watching.
Yeah, man.
Penix or Nix will have the lowest floor. Too old already and injuries on Penix. Look, first of all, no disrespect to Penix or Nix and Wes. I know you was feeling Penix and maybe even Nix, but no. Hell no. Hell no. There's no way in hell I'm taking either of those dudes over Daniels, Caleb, or Drake May. It's not happening. Not if I'm the GM. I'll let one of y'all touch on that, and then I'm gonna move on to the next comment.
Personally, I was thinking about this the other day. Like, yes, they may have the lowest floor, but with the right coach and the right system around them, they have a pretty decent ceiling too, I think.
See, Devin, and that go back to the Justin Fields talk. Ain't no the right this, the right that. Everything can't be right. What about when it's the wrong coach, the wrong wide receiver? Can you still perform? Because it's the NFL.
Then
everything ain't gonna be
then
great.
they lose their career. I mean,
that's true.
That's
true.
all I'm
You're
saying.
right.
I was big on
for some people, like for example, Brock Purdy. If Brock Purdy is playing for one of the other teams, he may not have the success as of right now he has already had. And so he landed in just the right position for him. That I'm not like, I know a lot of people say that he's a system quarterback or whatever. I don't necessarily know if I agree with that, but he happened to land in a good system that is already set up for him. So
you want to touch on that, Wes?
I mean, can we say that about anybody that goes to Green Bay? It's the same thing. They do the same thing over again. They have the same seasoning. What's that when you make bread? That yeast, that starter batch yeast. They have that same thing. They had it for years. So, like I said, a 6 round, you know what I mean? It's like making bread. They have that starter yeast. You know, they have that system. That's what we need to build. And that's why I was saying more of going into that Michael Penix Jr. kind of bringing back. It's a lot of talent. We could put a lot of good players in the building. And I know you disagree. I'm not saying. I'm playing devil's advocate here first. Let me cook. And getting a lot of this talent. Look, you want me? Look, I even pulled this out the studs. I got my Bears chef hat. I came here to cook today, people. I came here to cook.
Hey, hold on. Put that up. Hold that up again. Hold that up. I gotta see
I got my Bears chef hat, baby.
Snapped. I love that hat.
I got my Bears chef hat. All right, I'm gonna have to start every time you pick your head about something, I'm like, let me throw it on. Let me cook. No, what I was saying about Michael Penix and everything, I was saying like using those first round draft picks to actually utilize some of this good late first round, early second round talent in addition to what we're going to have next year, because Poe said out his mouth, we're going to build this team, this dynasty through the draft. We're going to bring in veterans. They're going to be the instructors and teachers to these young talented people. That's what we need to build. We need to get that yolks, that started first before we can worry about anything we baking, right? And that's all I was saying about that. Obviously, like I said, they traded away Justin Fields. They better take Caleb Williams. That's my actual stance.
You better not take. No, I don't care if the bust rate for number one pick quarterbacks is high. You better not go digging for hell nah. Alex Silva said Daniels only played in the SEC one test and his stock went up one time and his stock went up. That won't sit well with teams scouting him. Jimmy Rodriguez said, bro, I'm not comparing them directly to Russell himself. Oh, this is the Jamarcus Russell thing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's no guarantee these guys are as good in the NFL as projected. History has shown many players hyped so far up coming in the draft only to shit the bed.
Right.
That
for you. I got some ingredients over here. That's for you, Mr. Rodriguez. But when we
because it's a lot of comments. We about to move on and jump into our expectations for Caleb Williams. I'm gonna keep the comments popping up on the screen, and if we see one that's worthy of like actually getting into a back and forth with one of y'all about, we gonna talk about it. So we got a lot of content to get into today. Let's go into Caleb Williams. Best and worst case scenarios for Caleb Williams rookie year. This is just Bears fans' expectations. We are fans as well, so these are our expectations. His best case scenario and then his worst case scenario. Then we're just gonna talk about how we came up with those numbers in terms of yards, interceptions, touchdowns, and whatever else you wanted to throw in there. Anybody want to kick it off, or I could just go ahead and kick it off?
I mean, you could start. I got. Like I said, I'm ready for this.
Go ahead and because I got these chats. I'm gonna monitor this chat real quick. Wes, go ahead and kick it off.
All right,
for us, please.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you my worst and then best prediction. I'm gonna tell you how I figured it out. I was like you said, best case scenario. And I'm gonna be very accurate with this because I measure my food. You know, I season my food precisely.
The chef
3,744 yards.
That's best case scenario.
Best case scenario for me. 30 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, about 35 attempts per game, average. Passing. And I'm not even bringing in the rushing. I think he's going to have more overall touchdowns, too. I didn't even bring in running or rushing on top of that. I think he'll probably in his best case scenario, he'll end his season with 50-plus total touchdowns.
Holy sheesh. Just go ahead and run through those numbers again from the beginning, just so we got
him at
here. Yep.
3,744 passing yards. Like I said, these are going to be passing fast. 30 throwing touchdowns
per game.
30.
Or do you got the per game numbers?
What? Touchdowns?
You said 3,700 yards. You got the per game numbers for that?
No, I didn't go down per game. I just kind of went overall average. And I'll tell you why I went overall average when I get into how I got to these numbers.
My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
6 interceptions. No, you good. About, like I said, 6 interceptions. And the reason I said averaging 35 attempts per game is because I have a formula on why I came up with this one. And worst case scenario, let me just jump to my worst real quick. I got him at about 1,900 worse. Close to 2,000. I put 1,900. 27 touchdowns still. About 9 interceptions. And I brought his attempts down to, that's 25, averaging about 25 attempts because they want to, he's doing something that they're not liking as a rookie. And you know how to kind of like tailor the game down based on how he's developing. And let's just say he's not really getting there. They will start pulling the game away from him. We do have a good running back core as well that I think that they can lean on, as well as our defense will be giving us shorter fields, hopefully, which our run game can maximize that too. We don't have to drive so far down the field. But if he's, like I said, if he's doing stuff they're not liking, I can see them kind of taking the game a little bit away from him and going on that. So those are my best and worst case. Like that's worse.
Can you just run through the worst numbers again?
1,900 total yards, 25 touchdowns, about 9 interceptions, and that's on roughly 25 attempts per game. Like I said, if they tailoring that back from him after a few week 6, week 7, he's just not looking like he's getting it, and they want to kind of bubble screen him to death or whatever, you know.
Did you say 1,900 yards?
Yeah, 1,900 yards.
Ooh, so yo 3,700 yards got him at 217 per game. I think that's definitely manageable, especially for what I got. And then you say your worst was 19.
Yes, and like I said, I bring that if he's not doing good at all. You said worst, you said worst case scenario. Worst case scenario at the end of the season. This is what he would be at because he had a terrible season.
That is worse. That's worse than Justin.
That's worse than Justin. That's what I'm saying. But the thing is, I think they would pull more. Like I said, we have a way better run game. We got a better defense. Like I said, I think we can shorten those games down as far as scores.
Right.
With the defense, and we can run with Swift and with Johnson and Herbert. Like I think, like I said, if the offensive line is, you know, at least 30% better, 40% better than it was last year, I think we can still do damage on the ground as well. So, and like I said, that's his worst. They pretty much taking him out of the game without taking him out the game. That's his worst case scenario.
The yardage total on your worst case scenario is very low, but you got his touchdowns 25-9, right? 25.
Yeah.
So it sounds like he's gonna be pretty good in that category. Is throwing some red zone touchdowns.
Yeah, I'm just saying shorter fields defense. Shorter fields defense. I'm thinking play action in the red zone, throw a screen touchdown to Swift, up the middle to one of the tight ends. A 7-yard touchdown is a touchdown. It's not a lot of yards.
All right. We got a comment on your numbers, and this is what I like. If y'all hear some numbers, y'all hear a take, put it in the comment, and we're gonna talk about it. Let's go back and forth on it. Alex Silva said, I think he'll do better than 1,900, bro. I say 2,700 at worst and over 3,000 at best, 20-plus passing touchdowns. And like you said, Wes, the 1,900 yards will be basically because he, between the 20s, he's not that great. But once he gets to that red zone, he can throw the touchdown pass. Right. That's what it sounds like because we'll be using the run game a lot more.
Yeah, and like I said, if he goes straight rookie, like doesn't really, the game doesn't come as fast as we expect it to him. Like, let's just put it out there. If you want to call him a bust, that's his bust stats.
That's his bust.
That's bust stats.
I agree. Those are bust stats, but those touchdowns to interception ratio, that's pretty good for.
I think he's still smart though. I think he's still a smart player. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take his IQ away. He's going to throw the ball away way more than Justin probably did, and he's probably going to go down to the ground. Like you say, he don't like running, so we could probably expect. I ain't gonna put up sacks in the worst case scenario either. I'm just saying, like, he's still gonna, like I said, I don't see him as a very interception heavy rookie in any form of it,
If you just tuning in to the Black Bear Podcast, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, the Black Bear Podcast, one word, no spaces. We are on the best and worst case scenarios for Caleb Wiliams' rookie year. Before we move on, I want to get this long chat up here real quick. Jimmy Rodriguez again, he said former NFL QBs have said themselves that after watching Wiliams deep on tape, he's been hyped up further than he should. They've said he performed spectacularly against the poor teams that he should beat and looked good, and then was okay to mid against the better teams. That, coupled with his attitude and mentality, equal a very high risk for any team, let alone ours, with subpar coaching and shaky leadership from ownership down. That is, I put it up there. We don't got to elaborate too much on it, but that's a strong statement. And anytime you put a comment like that with that many words, I'm gonna read it because it warrants. He got some merit there. Shaky leadership from ownership down. It's always been shaky, and we already talked about how the Eberflus decision to keep him was very shaky at best. Devin, best worst case scenarios for this young man, Caleb.
So, even though it's not necessarily a quarterback stat, I have been affirmative on that stance the entire time. A lot of people tend to put wins and losses as a quarterback stat. So I decided to put down that record-wise, I'd like to see at least 11 to 13 wins, because you can have a lot of yards, you can put up decent numbers, but at the end of the day, if you don't have the wins, you get labeled as a bust. Mm-hmm. And so I was saying, in the best case scenario, I would hope to have 11 to 13 wins. Show us something that we haven't had for a while.
This is best case scenario, right?
Yeah. Sorry. That's what I meant to say.
You're good. You're good.
And show us something that we've been craving for a while, something that we were hoping for a while, whether it didn't happen because of other positions not being able to play the way that they should be, or not being up to that standard to get that number of wins, whatever the case may be. I want to see some shootout games too. I want to see us going up at like 40 points, 45, stuff like that in multiple games. Like, we haven't had that. Like, as exciting as Justin Fields was to watch, there haven't been very many like high scoring games like consecutively over and over again. And like, I think one of the highest scoring games from this past year was the game in Washington on Thursday Night Football. I think that was a great game, but like, it had a lot of offense on both sides. I mean, more so on the Bears, but so I was focusing on wanting that come into the team, like based on the type of team that he's walking into. I do feel like he is set up more for success. So I don't think it would be bad to expect 11 to 13 wins next year.
Okay.
And very few people in that number one pick have walked into this type of scenario.
That is
because
true.
Most of the time when you're landing the number one pick, it's because your team sucked the year before. And as many problems as we had last year, I wouldn't say that we sucked the year before, just because our conference actually played pretty decently to the point where we ended up last with a record that might have been like second in most other divisions out there. So I felt like
season?
Yeah, I mean, I think we was
maybe not second, but definitely
had
not
7
last
wins.
in a lot.
we had
We
7
wouldn't have.
It was
Yeah.
what 2 or 3
7
games.
wins compared to the 3 before didn't really seem like it was like considered terrible. So
Right.
that's how I felt like that.
It's
And
'cause
stat wise, I did feel like I wanted to see. So this is best case scenario. He comes out and balls out exactly like he was in college.
Let's hear the numbers.
I was hoping to
What
see
you got?
3.5 to 4,000, somewhere in that range. I'm not gonna like dial in specifically because it's just too hard to dial in like that. But
So
we
your
have
3,500 has him at 205 yards per game, which is doable. It's doable. That's not.
It's very
300
doable,
or
but
nothing like that.
I'm aiming for more the 40,000 or 4,000 because his number of yards at USC were pretty high. So I'd be hoping he's closer to that 4,000. But if he's anywhere in that range, I feel like he succeeded and that's a really good scenario to be in. And touchdowns, I wasn't really paying much attention because we do have a lot of players. We have a good run game that when they run the ball in, they would take touchdowns away. So
Yeah,
I would think that anywhere from like 25 up would be pretty decent, knowing that our run game would be pretty solid. But we also have some really good wide receivers that get a lot of yards after the catch. So that number could just go up. And interceptions, I would put him at about like best case scenario, I would put him at like 5 or 6, just because of the fact that you look over like the past 3 years, he hasn't thrown very many interceptions.
5 was
the
his
most
max.
he threw like in one season was 5, right?
Yes, sir.
And last year 5, and 3 of them were in that game against Notre Dame. It's crazy to think that he just doesn't throw interceptions. And real quick on that Notre Dame part, how interesting would it be if the Bears just so happened to pick up Joe Alt at 9, and so the guy that was on the team that gave him his worst game of the last year is now defending his ass on the offensive line. That would be pretty interesting, I think.
That would be funny. But that's just how it goes. That's how it goes. A lot of the time, these dudes have sacked these quarterbacks that are now on their team. They sacked them in college at one point. And maybe talked a little shit.
It happens.
Yeah. So, was that that was your best, right? You just gave us your best. Let's hear your worst case scenario.
Okay. Worst case scenario might be a little rough because there's just
Wes came out here with 1,900 yards. I don't know how much worse it could get than that.
I mean, worst case scenario is I'm thinking like he could get like maybe 2,000 at most, but not as many touchdowns. Like Wes said, if he's not producing the way that they want him to, they may have to retool the offense a little bit, focus more on the running game. So throw in the fact that if he's struggling so much that they have to retool the offense, I'm thinking he's got like 12 to 15 interceptions, maybe even a couple of fumbles or something like that, because something that they have to retool the offense for. It wouldn't be from the offensive line because, like, I know we have issues with our offensive line sometimes, but if we retool the offense to be more of a running attack, then it's not the offensive line.
Right.
They're making the holes that they're able to. So it could be like people talk about his quickness getting the ball off. I haven't seen that, but I hear a lot of people talk about it. So if it gets even harder for him when it gets to the NFL, there's always that possibility that he ends up getting a lot of sacks, getting some fumbles. I would say worst case scenario, about 2,000 yards with about anywhere from 12 to 15 interceptions.
So 2,000 yards. That's that you might as well say 1,900. Like
that's what I'm for the say. That's kind of what I was at. I'm like, I know you want to dog me for going that low, but I'm gonna tell you
I wasn't trying to. That's literally just what I was thinking.
No, it's all good. Look, and this is why I wanted to do this, because it's interesting to hear what other people's opinions are. You said 2,000. That's 117 yards a game. Justin was doing that. Like Justin isn't known to be this crazy passer, but he was giving us 190, 195. You know what I mean? So that is bust territory of yards.
For Caleb.
For Caleb.
For what we're saying Caleb is. Like, let's just understand.
Different situations for different people, I think.
Right. Different strokes.
Whoa. Yeah, based on where you're picked. But once you're picked and you're in this country club that we call the NFL, everybody's expectations are the same. Good. When you talk about good, bad, and average, there is no he's good because he was drafted 5th round. No, there's none of that. I don't want to hear that. If you're drafted and you get into this country club, either you're good, you're average, or you're not. You know, Wes, what's up? Talk to me.
Come on, that's it doesn't sound like you walking things back. It's like, no, y'all saying he's a generational talent. This is what yes, it doesn't. It doesn't. When you get into it's not everybody's on the same level. Not everybody's expected to do the same things. Not you didn't expect Joe Flacco to get off the couch last season and take the Browns. So, like you know what I mean? Like, so don't say just because you're a starting quarterback in the NFL, we expect you to throw 3,000 yards. That's probably not the plan.
That's expectations.
Even the expectation, like we just might need somebody just to get in here and hand the ball off to Derrick Henry. We just might need somebody to get it. So
who need that?
I'm just saying. You said the country club. We're talking about the whole country club here. Right. Every team don't need a 4,000 yard passer.
I disagree with that. I think every team needs one of those. If you don't have one of those, you're probably not winning the Super Bowl. It's that simple. Just think about it. Brock Purdy. We just talked about Brock Purdy was dropped. Brock Purdy and Jalen Hurts were dropped into great teams, right? They still lost to who? That 4,000 yard passer in Kansas City. You know what I mean? You can have a great team. You can drop these quarterbacks into these great teams. But let's think about who winning Super Bowls. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl with the Eagles, and they ain't, you know what I mean? Who's winning Super Bowls? Tell me, other than what non-superstar quarterback is winning Super Bowls? Because we're talking about Super Bowls, really, not just winning 10 games. We ultimately want to win Super Bowls.
But you just said that you don't have to. You just proved you don't have to win Super Bowls. You don't have to.
You don't have
That's
to.
What I'm saying. You don't have to throw for 4,000 yards. You can build a structured team around a balanced game that your quarterback doesn't have to really throw that many. That's what I'm saying. As far as the NFL go, as far as quarterback, as far as teams go, all 32, we don't have to, because if that was like I said, if that was the case, then I mean, once you get a quarterback with 4,000 that you know can throw 4,000 yards, the rest of the teams might as well just wait and just not do nothing and just tank every year and say, hey, you know, they got the 4,000. Hey, look, he's throwing 4,500 yards a year. God. We have to wait. We have to wait 3 more years until we get somebody that we know. You know what I mean?
You can get one. Like I said, Nick Foles got one with the Eagles.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But with that mindset, for me, you said, like, man, you look at your situation and it's like, so we might as well wait. Who's coming up? Whose kid's in high school right now? He looks good.
No.
4 years for him to come out.
If you don't have the 4,000 yard passer, I think you need to continue to take swings until you get. That's what I mean. Like, yeah, you got to be okay with your Jared Goff, or Jared Goff is a 4,000 yard. But see,
that doesn't. Right, you see what I'm saying? It doesn't always mean.
We really talking about, when we say 4,000, we're talking about elite passers. That's really the word we want to use. We're talking about elite passers. You need an elite passer. That's what I'm saying. You can't. Right. You can win games.
You can be an elite passer without throwing 4,000 yards, though.
Yes.
Okay.
That's why I said elite. That's why I said elite instead of putting a number on it, because circumstances contribute to numbers. But elite, ain't no doubt. You could throw. Patrick Mahomes could throw 3,000 yards next year, and we all gonna still say he elite. You know what I mean? So I think you do need that elite quarterback. That's just my opinion. Yes, you can win 10, 12 games with your Brock Purdy, with your Jalen Hurts. But what happened when they went up against the man, Patrick Mahomes? You know what I mean? Even Patrick Mahomes versus Tom Brady. What happened? Like, you do need that guy. Okay, so say we get a two teams with average quarterbacks. That's different. But if on the other side you got a dog over there, it's not a good chance you're going to beat that dog, no matter what your defense and your team looks like if your quarterback is average. That's just my opinion. That's just the way I look at it. I want the dog, you know. But yeah, I don't know where we just I don't know. Hey, Wes,
and I'll tell you, look, and I wanted to put out how I got my number. So I really wanted to be accurate with it. So I went on what was like PFF.com, went on there and I asked and I searched and I looked around, I ended up at there, and I just asked, what is the average transition from a college quarterback to the NFL? And basically, they gave me a few things about breakdowns of how many pressures, how many dropbacks, how many play actions, all that. And they averaged that the average college quarterback coming in will get about 60% completion rate, roughly, game, with roughly about 7 yards per pass.
Right.
That's pretty good. There's a lot of players out there that, I mean, they borderline. I mean, you know,
I do want more than 60%.
Of course I want to. But then, like I said, and I just based Caleb's off of that, and I based it off those 5 games last year towards the end. And I looked at it, and most of those games, he threw about 65, 70% of the completion rate, which I think he's going to do better in the NFL and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I'm just going to put him in nits. And that's why I said earlier, Caleb's ceiling is way higher than his floor. Like, that's his floor. And my best case scenario, a lot of those stats.
I like
that. It's his floor. It's really around his floor. Like I said, my worst case is if he just go out there and surprisingly does absolute, like, just can't get the game. Because some players can't. Yeah. Fair to acclimate, right? Fair to acclimate. Can't get it. Sir. Can't get it. We thought he did. Man, but he just can't get it.
Hey, do y'all see? I love the back and forth that's going on in the chat.
Oh, right Alex now. And Jay.
Yeah.
Man. We don't need to separate him. You know how to separate.
But I love that we can come on here and we can spark that type of debate. You know what I mean? A healthy conversation. I want to
pop on all that. Look, they can. I think they need a screen. They need a block.
They need to be right there on the little corners.
Put them in one of the corners, man. And let him go. And yeah, but like I said, I expect big things for Caleb. I really do. And the one thing I did want to point out, I'm kind of happy he had his Heisman season the year before instead of coming off Heisman season.
Yes.
I wanted to throw that out there.
I'm glad you said that.
I wanted, and I looked at it and I was looking into it. Like I said, I've been trying to, you know, do my due diligence because, you know, on Caleb, because I want him to do great. I mean, if we're going to get him, that's what I want. And I like
put the jersey in the camera.
Huh?
That's it. Put the jersey in the camera.
Because if you took this away from me, you took it away. So I'm trying my best.
That's a nice ass jersey, bro.
I'm trying my best. I'm trying my best to find something to love about.
Right. For sure.
Period. Like I'm like I said, at this point, Bajan is the number 1 quarterback right now, and I'm gonna look at him if he's out there, you know. But what I did like, which Caleb probably get mad, I said I liked his last 5 games when he went like 1-4 against those ranked teams, because he still threw 65-70% of his passes. I think other than, like I said, that Notre Dame game where it was like the interception heavy game. Other than that, and I watched a lot of the highlights and I watched some quarters. I tried to find like sections of the game, and he was still playing like it's 0-0, you know? Like I was watching, like he's playing like it's 0-0. He's getting smashed. He's getting tried. Like he's out there, but I could see it. He still had that feel of you still playing 0-0. And I'm like, just transfer that over. Like I said, if you put that in, like you said, Mark, into this country club and you play like that, I get one of these.
Hey,
you know, I get one. I get one.
I'm upset. I didn't get a jersey. I'm pretty sure I can get a cheap one right now. He's not with the team, so people probably trying to get their inventory out.
Yeah.
So they, but I think I'm gonna go get me a Fields jersey just to have it because he was the most beloved quarterback we've ever had, and even including Jim McMahon.
I got a list of those guys too. We what the top.
Phantom. I'm definitely gonna. I'm gonna get you on here because you're definitely a passionate Bears fan. And I think that would make for
you are worthy. You are worthy.
I definitely would.
Exactly.
I think it is
definitely worthy, Jay.
Some crazy debate. You and Alex are going crazy in the chat right now. I appreciate y'all both. If y'all tuning into the Black Bear Podcast, hit that like button, subscribe button. Black Bear Podcast, one word, no spaces, on YouTube and Facebook. We are on best and worst case scenarios for Caleb Wiliams, and now it's my turn.
I'm interested to hear this. You were very upset about our worst case scenarios, so I'm very interested to hear yours.
The worst case scenarios was the yardage was just insane because I watched Justin do that in his sleep, and he wasn't even a great passer. So that's bust. I don't think Caleb gives bust at all. And I'm about to tell y'all why. Worst case scenario.
Okay.
3,000 yards passing. That comes out to look, 3,000 yards passing in a 17-game season, that comes out to 176 yards per game. Like I said, Justin did that 195 for us. Worst case scenario, I think he can get us 176 a game. I think he'll have worst case scenario 14 touchdowns, which comes out to about 0.8 per game. When you get into numbers.
Yeah, I gave him something like that.
Say that again.
I gave him like 1.26 when I was doing my math, but yeah, I just couldn't see him not throwing a touchdown. Period.
Yeah. So you put it up to one.
At least one. I gave him the over, but
14 touchdowns, 16 interceptions. This is my worst case scenario. 3. Yeah. Yes. And this is how I got those numbers. Well, I'm not done. That's almost one pick a game. Almost, not quite. Almost, about 0.9.
Mm-hmm.
And I based this on Trevor Lawrence rookie year. I based it on Trevor Lawrence's rookie year. Trevor Lawrence, damn, I should have had it ready, and I don't, but I can get that. Trevor Lawrence rookie year, he and I looked at a lot of guys rookie years. Russell Wilson's, Sam Bradford, fucking you name it. I looked at a lot. Yeah. Trevor Lawrence rookie year was 3,600 yards, 12 passing touchdowns, and 17 interceptions. The yards were there, and this is so he had 3,600 yards, but his touchdowns and interceptions were terrible, and that's because I'm saying the Bears are gonna let this kid throw the ball. He's gonna be able to throw the ball to get 3,000 yards, even if they see that he's not somehow like, oh, he's not understanding this, or he's not gonna be the guy. They still gonna give him opportunities to throw that ball. So I think he's gonna hit 3,000 on a worst case scenario basis. Trevor Lawrence had 3,600, 12 touchdowns, and 17 interceptions in his rookie year. And I think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback in this league now. So that's how I got my worst case scenario. It's about 0.8 touchdowns a game and about one pick a game. Let's just say one pick. I'll let y'all comment on that before I get to my best case scenario. So, if y'all got a comment on it.
I did have something. I was thinking about it, and you said, like, I guess when I was looking at it, and it might be the same way Wes was feeling about it, that like they didn't let him throw. There were definitely games this year that I felt like they didn't let Justin go out there and sling the ball. And
for sure,
there were definitely games like the game against Minnesota where we threw like 20-something screen passes. That's indicative of a offensive coordinator or head coach who may not necessarily trust his quarterback to throw it downfield. Now, I guess part of what I was doing was kind of thinking about it in that old mentality. Yeah. Now, I guess I wasn't putting into perspective the fact that We have the new offensive coordinator. He's coming in. He gets to kind of mold Caleb the way that he wants him to. And so by doing that, you really do get an opportunity to be like, okay, well, he may not necessarily be getting it, but just throw the ball, just try and do something with it, play your game. Maybe they have that. Maybe they might be able to have that kind of relationship.
Keenan Allen will be pissed. Yeah. He will be pissed if he don't get the ball. Like, I don't care what Caleb is doing or how he's doing. If he don't just get opportunities to go out there and run routes, he will be pissed. I don't think I do look, and I'll get to when I get to my best case scenario, that's when I'll really tell how I think our offense will flow this year. But what's up, Wes?
No, I was just because my whole thing is like I'm looking at the improvements of the rest of the team.
Yes, sir.
Now, if we want to get into what if the run game really winning, what if our defense ain't as good as it's supposed to be? Like, if we want to get really into best and worst case as a team, I can see them, Caleb being out there still slinging it. But if, Caleb's not getting it and the rest of the team is, I can still see Keenan getting what he's supposed to, him and DJ racing to 1,000, but I can see a lot of those other receivers like probably not even being on the field. I can see them tight ends out there just blocking a lot because we running the ball a lot. And our running backs having, some great seasons instead of our receivers. I don't think, and like I said, I didn't even bring in wins and losses in each scenarios because I just wanted to focus mainly on Caleb, to be honest, and the averages of it. But like I said, I gave, that's the worst they could possibly do with Caleb. Other than bench him. That's where my stats came from. Other than not letting him play at all.
You gave out bust numbers. I didn't give out
that's
bust
the worst,
numbers.
way, but not even just bust. It's just
oh, that's bust.
That's bust. I'm not even going to use that word bust, but I'm just saying this is the worst he could do other than completely not playing anymore.
Mm-hmm. But see, even with your bust numbers, 25 is what you have, 25 touchdowns and
I gave him 25 and 9 because
that's better than this Trevor. I just told you Trevor Lawrence 14 and 17, 13 and 17. That's not even a bust year. That's actually
that's what I'm saying. I think he's a little bit
the yards
smarter. Yeah. The yards is what I know everybody gonna get the yards, and I'm just I'm thinking of how many attempts per game, if we're running the ball, if we got a short field, all that kind of stuff. If our defense, if like I said, if we still can't get it right on defense and we have to drive down the field every single time and we getting bad field position on that, you have to throw your way out of that. And I'm not even talking about bubble screens. I'm just saying just bringing the game to him really, really slowly.
Okay,
but anyway, go ahead, finish. I want to hear your best. I want to hear your
my best. Because I was about to go on another tangent.
10,000 yards,
bubble screen thing is crazy.
Negative 5 interceptions.
You sound like my brother. That is crazy. Do I give off that much love for Caleb in his wild?
A little bit. It's
sometimes.
But I feel like every franchise who's picking number 1 overall, and you have a quarterback there that is a consensus really good quarterback. Let's not say generational, but I don't think there are people. There's Bears fans. The only fans who says Caleb Williams sucks in some way, shape, or form. I feel like everybody should be optimistic.
No, I would never. I'm not saying he sucks. Like I said, I don't like a lot of people.
No, not all Bears
I also
fans,
think there are other fans out there also think.
Yeah, I had a Packer fan say he think he gonna be Jamarcus Russell too. How when Joe Burrow came out if Caleb Williams is going to another team, I guarantee you. The view around him would be way different.
That's all I'm saying too.
Not even that. Even if we say Tyson Bagent was our starter last year and not Justin Fields, people would have a totally different view on Caleb Williams replacing Tyson Bagent.
I mean, people still think Tyson Bagent should have been our starter. So
which is insane.
I never thought that.
The people who think the dude got a noodle arm.
Not preposterous.
Look, but let me continue.
Go ahead, I want to hear this.
Get your point.
I can't wait to hear these.
My best case scenario. So my worst case scenario for yards was 3,000. My best case scenario for yards is only 3,500. That is comes out to 205 per game. That's 200 yards per game. 26 touchdowns. So that's an uptick from the 14 touchdowns I had for worst case scenario. 26 touchdowns. That's 1.5 per game. So that's almost 2 passing touchdowns per game. I think he can do that. And 10 interceptions. So 26 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, which is about 0.5 picks per game, half a pick per game. And I based that off the Russell Wilson rookie year. I think he does play a lot like Russell Wilson. So I think he played like Russell Wilson in college. How Russell Wilson plays in the NFL, that's how Caleb played in college. That's the way I looked at it. Let me get Russell Wilson's numbers real quick. Just bear with me. Y'all got any issues with that?
No, I'm very humbled. Actually, I want to say something.
I'm surprised. Too.
Right, I know I could come up with.
I thought for sure you were going to go with like
5,000 yards.
I thought you were at least going like 41.
This is crazy. Where's my respect? Like, sheesh.
Because and then on top of that, I thought you would look at
because I mean we were talking about like best case scenario, like something that would happen. Like
he's a rookie.
I don't know.
He is a rookie. One of the best rookie seasons I've seen was CJ Stroud, and then Joe Burrow was a dog before he tore his ACL.
I was going to bring up CJ Stroud. I was going to ask you what's CJ Stroud. Well, I mean, what's Camp? I was going to say Camp. Caleb Williams better than CJ Stroud. Do you think so?
I had something about the CJ Stroud
in college.
Too.
Yeah, from that college, from looking at the from college.
Oh yeah, Caleb Williams better. Mm-hmm. Caleb Williams would have been drafted over him last year, and Bryce Young for sure.
And you said 3,500, 25, 26 and
10.
And 10. And CJ Stroud, rookie year, he had 36, 41, and 6. That's what I'm surprised.
CJ Stroud was the best rookie season. That's an anomaly, not the norm. Let's just look at CJ Stroud like that. He had the best rookie season ever.
That's the part that
I don't think Caleb will have the best rookie season ever. What the?
Okay.
Okay. Now I see how y'all boys view me.
I thought you would have.
No,
I thought you would have. I even have that stat sitting right here.
The reason that I feel that you would be that way is all the different people that keep coming on to support Caleb Williams that I've been seeing. They consistently bring up CJ Stroud, saying we don't got to wait 3 years for development because of CJ Stroud. So then I've consistently asked them, and this has been happening for weeks now. Well, so then what would your opinion be if he doesn't achieve CJ Stroud's type of success? And none of them want to answer me. Nobody wants to answer me because I'm asking a legitimate question.
Right. And people like to use anomalies for their argument, not the norm, not the average, not the regular. You know what I mean? They like to use something that's just only one person ever did. Oh, well, he did it. Okay, who else? Who else threw for 4,000? What did you say Stroud had? He had 4. 30, I don't know.
36, 88, 41 touchdowns, and I think 6 interceptions. If I'm
like, come on, man.
That's crazy.
I think Aaron Rodgers' best season, he threw 5 picks.
Wasn't he out at least a game?
Yeah, he was missed a game.
I could have sworn that Stroud was out at least a game.
Stroud season was an anomaly for sure. I'm not that narrow-minded. I'm definitely much.
I really just thought you would at least hit that closer to 4K, and I thought you was going to at least give him 30 touchdowns.
Because I know how the transition from from college to NFL is not the same. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And not only that, but and this is a team stat, but he also plays a role in it. They only won like 8 games last year. His Heisman year, they didn't go to the playoffs. So it's like, come on, man. I'm not oblivious to how football works. The fact that y'all thought I was is kind of, it hurt my feelings a little bit.
No, I thought you. I mean, really, I'm not even surprised. It's the touchdowns that got me.
What, the 26 and 10?
Yeah, I thought you at least would have given 30.
Okay, so let me keep going then. So I based the 26 and 10 off Russell Wilson's And like I said, if I told you all the quarterbacks rookie seasons I looked at, I could go on and on. But Russell Wilson had 3,100 yards, 26 and 10 exactly for his rookie season. And like I said, I view the way Caleb played in college is how Russell plays in the NFL. I don't know if Caleb will still continue to play that way when he gets to the NFL, but that's just the comparison I'm using. 26 and 10, 3,500 yards passing. And that's my best case scenario. And I think we can make the playoffs with that easily. Of
course. I mean, I've been sitting on a lot of people been telling me, I mean, we can get into the thing, but they've been just sitting, and I'm like, honestly, man, my gut telling me we take Caleb. I don't see why we shouldn't win the North. You see what I put in the chat before we got on? He was like, "Is you ready?" So I had to put my Jon Snow up there, man. That's how I'm feeling real Jon Snow like right now.
So you seen the whole Game of Thrones? You a Game of Thrones man? Yeah, yes, sir. It's probably one of my favorite episodes.
Hands down.
I think that I just need to watch the last season.
Oh, the last season. Okay, one of the ones that people hate the most for some reason. I loved it.
But like I said, I don't see why. And like a lot of people keep coming about Green Bay and all that kind of stuff. Why we don't beat Green Bay, I don't know. Honestly, I think it's a conspiracy, to be honest with you, because it makes no sense. It doesn't. No matter.
I think it might be a mental thing at this point.
I don't even think it's a mental thing. We done had several different teams, several different players, but the result is always similar and the same. So, but like I said, I'm pretty sure Caleb's going to change that narrative too.
Jeremy Rodriguez says CJ needs to do what he did last year again next year to be considered legit. And I say the same thing about, you don't agree? I agree with this.
Not the same thing, close to it.
I mean, you close to it.
It was an anomaly.
In you know what I mean? Good. Let's just say good. Be good.
Be good.
And I look at that same thing for Jordan Love. I gotta see it again from Jordan Love. I gotta see, because they were 9-8. Yeah. But he balled out. He definitely balled out. I got to see it again before I get on that Jordan Love hype train.
I'm not on it.
Yeah, but, that's my best and worst. If y'all,
I thought I was
finna shoot for the moon, shoot for the motherfucking stars.
That trampoline, that spring was tight.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I'm a reasonable person.
I at least thought you was gonna do him better than CJ did last season. I mean, because I thought you were gonna use that as like, well, CJ got there, so I mean, he could do that, which he could do.
That's lazy.
I thought you were gonna go with Andrew Luck.
You said that's lazy.
And Andrew, I didn't go with Andrew Luck because I looked at Andrew Luck. I forget his numbers. I could pull it up real quick before we move on from this Caleb Williams quarterback conversation.
That's just because that's where I've heard a lot of comparisons from as far as being generational, comparing him to Andrew Luck. Not that I felt like he was some like Super Bowl all-time winning quarterback out there, but
and see, Andrew Luck had 4,300 yards, 23 touchdowns, 18 interceptions. The only way Caleb is getting 4,300 yards is if we neglect our run game. I don't see that happening. In any way, shape, or form. We almost gonna be run first his rookie year.
That's why I kind of said if that's what we're gonna go with in the worst case scenario, I can see it being that really low in yards.
I think it all depends on how things play out and training camps and stuff like that. There's a lot more we got to wait and see before we make any decisions on how we're gonna approach each game.
Yeah, and that's another thing I thought about too. Depending on who we're going up against, I like our schedule. I actually looked at it really a lot, and that's why I said I think we're gonna win the North. We got the most home games, and 3 of the teams that we play are last in the division.
Although one of our home games, don't forget, one of our home games is played in London.
Hey, that might be a post-game show. We might have to miss that. Yeah, that is early as fuck. That game kick off at 8 a.m. I mean, we might be at
usually 9.
9 in the morning.
I think a couple of the games 9 in the morning.
Definitely not doing
it's nice because those days you pretty much get football from like the morning when you wake up all the way until like the night right before you go to sleep.
Yeah, that's true. But like I said, I like that. I like the schedule, man. I like it. I see who we play, man, and I ain't scared.
Whoo, that was that Caleb conversation was very interactive. The chat went crazy.
I did like. I'm surprised. I thought I was gonna, I wanted to be, like I said, I wanted to be the bearer of bad news, which I was, but I thought you was gonna balance out my complete almost benching of Caleb Williams. That's what I was thinking. Right. I was like, what could I even justify him only throwing 200 yards in the season? Like, okay, what's gonna be like the worst that he gets? Like, no,
Mama Blues, I've been waiting to see you show up. She said I missed it. Yeah, you just missed a great segment. We wrapping that segment up, putting a bow on it. It actually took longer than I thought but I mean, anytime we talk about
anytime.
I mean, we ain't never gonna have a short life.
We had we had battles going on in the chat.
Right, we had to show we had to clear the court, we had to clear the benches, trainers falling over people.
She said I'll rewatch for sure. Shout out to Mama Blues. I appreciate that. Definitely go back and check that out. We put out some numbers.
It was a good one.
It was definitely a good one. Now, but we moving on. We about to make a whole turn. Forget the number 1 pick. Forget the quarterback position. We got the number 9 pick as well. Chef West. Yeah. Hey, look, I think the fans might love Chef West. That hat is crazy. I love it.
I think I might have to introduce him every now and again when it comes down to it. This is,
we need to get a graphic of Chef West to throw up there every now and then.
We might have to come up with Chef West's own segment where you just cook.
I thought it was in the wash, but it's a little dirty.
What that is? Oh, that's the yeah. Oh, you snapped. You snapped.
You thought it was just a hat. Oh,
my boy snapped. Oh yeah. Hey, Wes,
it's a little dirty. It's a little dirty, but
we definitely might have to come up with.
It's because you've been cooking.
Been cooking.
A weekly episode of just Chef West cooking. For sure.
Have to do it. Put it in.
That's wild. You got the whole. You did.
Man, my dog chewed up the mittens, but it's all right.
You snapped for sure. That might be a fan favorite.
Let's cook because I've been trying to get to this defensive edge conversation.
Devin, I'm gonna ask you to politely kick off the. Okay, let me set it up for the fans watching. We are pivoting to the 9th overall pick. A lot of Chicago Bears fans forget we have another top 10 pick outside of the number 1 overall pick. We could take a left tackle there. A lot of people want us to take one of these dog wide receivers there. We looking at the D lineman because we got Montez Sweat, and I didn't do my job right. I should have had some Bears total sack numbers for last season. I don't have them, any of that stuff, but we all know we need another D lineman. Whether that's
and we all know that after we got Montez Sweat, those numbers went from in the garbage to somewhat
I think we
decent.
Had 2 sacks halfway through the season.
Yeah, it was right. That was like embarrassing.
Like 2. It was like 2 sacks.
Your D-line coach deserves to be fired, even though he ain't out there playing. He need to go, and everybody that was contributing to that. So we're gonna talk about these D-line prospects that the Bears can potentially take at 9. At 9, so this is a first-round top 10 talent. Devin, if you want to kick us off, you could choose any of the guys we got on the list. Before you jump into it, I will play the clip. You'll introduce him. I'll play the clip, and then you're going to talk about him.
So the first guy that I looked at was Latu out of UCLA. And
Latu.
I think it's Latu.
I just love saying his name too. Like
me too.
It's going to be one of those ones that the fans will just gravitate towards. I feel like kind of like Puka out in LA. He
Puka
has a
Nacua.
fun name to say for the Rams. Yeah.
What's
So I mean,
the
I feel
Steelers
like
free
we'll
safety
just
with the hair?
gravitate towards that.
What's his name?
Minka.
No, from back in the day, the Steelers.
Troy Polamalu.
Troy
Polamalu?
I feel like like just that field. He got the Jason Momoa kind of thing going for him. So,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and I think he fits. I think he fits really, really well too, honestly. But
Leatu Latu is a dog, and we got some clips on Leatu Latu. Here you go. Watch him work. That's that man right there. Like the way he rushed the quarterback is different from all of these guys on this list. Number 15.
I just like his length. Look how long he is. Look at his arms. How long.
I like his use of hands.
Yeah, that's what
the hands. Oh my God.
Push it. He cross blocks him and
hey, that's Caleb right there.
That's Caleb right there. He know who that is. Caleb.
I think
Caleb probably.
I think I saw somebody say something about that particular play. Was that if you didn't have somebody like Caleb Wiliams back there, that would have been a sack.
Yeah.
So
like look at him. He double teams.
That's
crazy.
He gets through.
In them hands. Look, his hands he probably got the best hands in this draft for a D lineman purposes.
Yeah. I mean, what is he? I think I had him right down here.
Somebody want to go over his measurements, his height,
6'5". I read this. 6'5".
I knew I said that.
49 total tackles, 28 solos. I mean, what is 13 sacks, 2 interceptions. Pac-12 defensive player of the year. That's the Pac-12 defensive player of the year. He cover, he rush, he kind of honestly, like if I had to bring a bear into mind, he gives me that Urlacher feel, like he's going to be everywhere. You can
Urlacher, that's interesting.
Because Urlacher was a free safety down here in Mexico. And he had that coverage.
This is an edge rusher.
I know. That's the dynamic. Okay. Victor Wembanyama is 7'7", but he's shooting threes.
I feel you.
You see what I'm saying? Let's not take a talent. Like we want to talk about talent. We would just give it. We can't put him in you could put him. You could bring him out. I mean, you could do whatever. That's what I'm saying. Like he's that
versatility wise, yeah.
Versatile. Like you could put him at free safety and he would probably dominate. Too. You know what I mean? And this is a guy we're gonna have on the edge.
He ran a 4.6 40 time, but as we all know, D lineman, the 40 time is not that important. What I like to look at when it comes to D lineman is the 10-yard split. Your 10-yard, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He had a 1.6 10-yard split, one of the best for the D lineman in this draft, which was great. Another thing I like to look at with D linemen is their arm length. Linemen in general are offensive linemen too. Y'all remember Peter Skoronski from last year? Mm-hmm. He was a dog tackle in college, but his arms was way too short for the league. The Titans drafted him, moved him to guard instantly because you can't have those little ass arms. But 32 inches and 32 5/8 for his arm length. That's one of the longest. It's another dude on this list that got some crazy long arms. But Leatu Latu, what else y'all got on him? I got a few things on him, especially the most important thing. He didn't play in 2020 and 2021 due to a neck injury. He was forced to retire. You want to elaborate on that, Devin? I'll let you kick this one off if you want to elaborate on his neck injury or.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like, I was reading about that, and it looked like he'd made the decision to retire, and so that does kind of bring up some concerns with health because neck injuries are serious things. If you if you get a neck injury in the season, you're not out for a game or two like you might be with like a twisted ankle or something like that. You're out for the season, and in a position like an edge rusher, especially one we take so highly in the draft at 9, you kind of want to make sure that they're going to be able to play for you throughout the year. Yep. I think one of the things I was watching said that, and I don't necessarily know if it was about him, but it was just about the position in general, when it comes to linemen on either side, the best ability is durability. And so when it comes down to that, I I can see some concerns, but I did see a lot of positives. One of the things that I saw that was that he's considered an above average run defender as well,
Yep.
compared to the other two
The
top
other
ones that I
guys,
looked
yes,
at.
sir.
They were below average in that run defending. And now the Bears were decent when it came to run defending. So I feel
Mm-hmm.
like it wouldn't be as negative of an impact getting somebody that is below average, but getting somebody that's above average in run defending to pair with Montez Sweat would definitely be a big improvement to our defense that we've already been building fairly decently over the last like year or so.
I agree. He's a dog in the run game, and a lot of these new age pass rushers, kind of like people shooting, kids shooting threes. All they care about is getting to the quarterback. They thirsty for sacks, and they forget they can hand that ball off and run, and run right by you. So, he's great at stopping the run. You got anything else on Leatu Latu West?
Man, like I said, I kind of ran through everything. I do like that he can, do both as in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I said, I think I can't say. I just got that feeling that like he probably has the best field vision. It seems out of all of the top, prospects we can get at this position, and it shows in the way he plays and the way he goes. And like I said,
Just looking at that,
I don't know if it's just
slapping
because
those hands away.
yeah, I don't know if it's just because he's so tall or so big. Maybe he can just see over everything. I'm not sure, but I do like I said, I do think he has that fit in our defense because I know a lot. I've seen a lot of we pulling edges on some stunt bringing in
Stunts.
a Brisker or having TJ Blitz or something like that, and I would feel safe knowing he was covering the flat. I feel safe with him over anybody else being out there, being able to track down, running backs in the outfield, running backs in the open, and all that kind of stuff. And I think he would fit in a lot. Really well with the way we do defense to, like I said, to help all the other people too. Because I know Brisker and I know Kyler and I know JJ want to get down on that line too.
Yes, sir.
That quarterback,
They
I know
definitely
they
like
will
getting in
too.
the box.
They like getting down.
Don't leave out Stevenson.
Like I know, I'm saying our defense, period, like all our our linebackers, we like to get down there on that line and to be able to to show one thing and get into something different and confuse some of these quarterbacks. Like I said, we're trying to see what Love and Purdy's going to be and all that. To confuse them and have that bag of tricks on defense, I think that will be a plus. And I think he would fit the most and fit the best with that kind of scheme.
So Leatu Latu is definitely, like I told y'all, he was my favorite when I started checking these dudes out. I'm a little lenient. I don't know now. After I finished my research on these dudes, it's kind of a toss up between him and another guy.
There's some good dudes here.
Leatu Latu, out of UCLA, he transferred from Washington. Washington did not clear him. They forced him to retire because of his neck injury, which is crazy. I mean, the fact that he's back here. He missed two seasons, and now he's potentially a first overall pick. That's great. A senior. He what I got on him is I think out of all the guys, he has the most NFL ready game. He's most NFL ready. I think the way he plays, he views pass rushing as like an art form. I mean, he's polished all around when it comes to his hand placement, and honestly. That's my favorite about, Leatu Latu. You see it on this first clip. Look at them hands. I'm going to replay it again. Look at them hands. Like, that is crazy.
Just smacking them away.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and the Bears need another guy on the other side of Montez Sweat. Another thing I got on him is – go ahead, Devin.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to say that I watched a couple of film breakdowns so that I could really get a sense for him as a player. And one of the things that one of them brought up was the fact that like he was able to kind of like stop them and make them put pressure on him. And then he'd use his hands to knock them away. And because they have their weight leaning forward, they fall forward. He uses his flexibility to just slip right around them and get to the quarterback.
And they teach you that when I play ball, they definitely teach you with those big offensive linemen. You got to use their own weight and momentum against them because they be tripping sometimes. He can go inside and outside with his moves. He's not just the edge. You can move him across that line of scrimmage if you need him to go inside, like they do a lot of players in the NFL. Tight ends cannot block this dude. If you're a tight end and they think you about to use a tight end to chip him or block him or whatever, it ain't happening. He eats those tight ends up and spit them out. And yeah, like I said, the biggest issue with him for me is that neck. And I know every team will do a deep dive into that neck injury, which cost him 2 of his college seasons. That's crazy. Moving on. Who we got next?
I will say,
what's up?
Before we move on real quick, I would feel very comfortable if the Bears decided to draft him, knowing that his injury is very well documented. So they did a very extensive medical check and background on him. Because if you go into this knowing that he has that potential medical issues and you still decide to end up drafting him, then I kind of get the feeling that there isn't so much wrong.
Yeah, no, I understand. So sorry, I had something in the kitchen. No, I'm just fine. Oh no, I had some technical difficulties. My bad, guys. No, but and that's something that I try not to really worry about like daunting major injuries, and I don't want to seem like oblivious to it. But the way the medical staffs are now, the way doctors are now, the way training are now, I think it's something that we could definitely look into and stay on top of. But as far as trying to make that a red flag, maybe. But for what you're getting and how he's been playing, it could be, great.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like it's dropping his draft capital or potential. I don't see any other team.
No, and it doesn't look like he's like suffered as far as production.
Correct.
I mean, it'd be different if like he was trying to enter the draft after missing the last 2 seasons. Yeah. But he came out and played last season and it didn't seem to affect him. So I feel like that's kind of enough for us to know that he's going to be good.
Yeah, Leatu Latu was a dog. I mean, like I said, he actually led the nation in tackles for loss. Like we just said, he's the best out of these guys at defending the run. He led the league in tackles for loss. That is with not a sack. It's a run play or some sort of play that's not a sack, and you tackle him behind the line of scrimmage. He's the best. He led the nation in tackles for loss, so that's crazy.
Whether it's screen pass or run play or whatever.
Exactly. That's Leatu Latu, everybody. Wes, we can't hear you. Go ahead and jump out and then jump back in. It might work. We're gonna move on. Who else we got? We got some guys. I want to go to Dallas, but let's go to Jared Verse.
Okay.
Out of Florida State, transferred from Albany. He actually played tight end for like a season, I think, and he moved. He was a redshirt junior, so that means he basically had a year where he didn't play. He sat out and just developed himself, but it didn't count towards his eligibility. Yeah, exactly. 6'4", 254. Now, remember, we just talked about Laiatu Latu. He's 6'5", 265. Jared Verse is 6'4", 254. So he about an inch shorter and what is that? 10 yards
10 pounds
lighter. 10 yards, 10 pounds, 10 pounds lighter. His 40 time was 4.5. It was a 4.5. Laiatu Latu wearing a 4.6. So Jared Verse is a little faster, but like I said, I don't look at the 40 time for linemen. I don't think it matters. The 10-yard split is what I look at, and they both had a 1.62 10-yard split. So arm length, Jared Verse, his arms are a little bit longer, 33.5 inches. Laiatu Latu had 32 inches. Yeah, I mean, I got some more notes, but I'll let one of y'all jump in on Jared Verse.
If I had to go, yeah. You
oh my God! Hold on.
So you want to go there? Like
Did you just the first play I played? This dude, man, we didn't see Laiatu Latu do any of this on his film just now.
Like I said, this is
his first play. He just, oh my God, man handles dude. Yeah, go ahead and what y'all got on Jared Verse, fellas?
I said talk about Micah Parsons, like just a grown man, like move, look, move, just move. What move? Come on, man. He'll move a school bus. I'm telling you. He's my favorite at the 9. He's my favorite at 9.
Oh, okay.
He's my favorite.
I was gonna ask everybody that.
I like Laiatu as far as like what he can bring to the Bears, but just what I want to see every Sunday, it's my guy right here, dude. Come on now.
Jared Verse.
What are you gonna do if that's on the other side of Montez Sweat? Move. Like I said, just move. Just move. I don't care who's on the offense.
You're gonna get sacked.
You just move like. And our secondary, our linebackers, like our defense. I mean, you talk about fees. Everybody's gonna get paid. All these young defensive backs we just got, Stevenson and all, and just wait. Just get. Look, when you get that big check, take him out to a nice dinner. Look like he liked food. He probably want to eat, give him a Rolex or something, because he's gonna cause so many pockets. He's gonna make it so difficult to get that ball out. And when it does come out, it's going to be up in the air. It's not. The time is going to be off. And like I said, our defensive ends, maybe even our linebacker, like our defense is going to like. That's what I'm saying. This is what I was talking about. If we get him, and Caleb has the worst season, these short fields all day long.
Yes.
These are short fields.
That's what helped Mitchell Trubisky in his 2018.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been that good without them short fields. And like I said,
Khalil Mack and them boys.
That's who I ain't gonna put I'm not gonna put the jersey on, but that's what I'm saying. Like, just a man. Like, you talking about Latu ready for the NFL? I can see that too. Like, it's like he. Come on. They talk about our receivers having a race for 1,000. Let's have a race to 10 sacks each.
I know, right?
You and him a race to 10 sacks. How many tackles for Washington to get? No solos. If you see me on the move, just give it to me. I'm talking about just crushing pockets. That's my whole take. Like I said, Micah Parsons. When I first seen that first one, I saw that same one. I said, I went and looked at Michael Parsons highlights. Like,
hey, Jared Verse is a man. That's a man. Devin, what you got on Jared Verse?
I was saying when I was watching this, I like his explosiveness off the line. He just shoots off of that line like a rocket as soon as the ball is snapped, and he knows what he needs to do to get to that quarterback. His flexibility helps him bend around the offensive line, and he seems like he's just on a mission to get there. And so the one thing that I did remember is that his aggression to get to the quarterback sometimes makes it so that when it's a run play, he sometimes is taking poor angles and has to try and get around the offensive line again to get to the running back, which I guess happens a lot if you're that quick at getting to the quarterback and then you see that they've handed it off, then you're kind of behind the ball on that. So I guess if you're going to look at like overall ability on flexibility on all types of plays, Latu might be the guy we're going to would want to take. But Verse definitely just he gets there and he hits hard. And one of the things I did like about Florida State is that like we would be taking from a winning program. Like they went out there and like I like to look at when we look to draft players, I like to look at programs that have won, especially ones like, for example, like Georgia, Alabama, places like that where they've won for a while. Teams. And not necessarily, but like players that like have been on teams that have a culture of winning. Because unfortunately for the Bears, for at least quite a while now, they haven't necessarily had the culture to win at any cost. And bringing in guys that already have that culture from college, I think it would help to build up that winning mentality here, because I do believe that that's probably played a lot into some of these like close losses, that they just stopped fighting when a team that expects to win would have given it everything they had. Whereas a team that is perfectly like they had a year when they purposely were losing to get higher draft stock. When you have players that have that mentality one year, it doesn't always just change the next year. It's harder to get them to really buy into, okay, now we're going to win. Because you just told them last year, even if you didn't outright tell them, you kind of gave them the idea that losing is fine. Right. And the fans don't want that. A lot of the players don't want that. And if you bring in players when you draft them from a winning program, like, for example, Florida State, then you really bring in a culture and an air of winning.
Them Florida State fans was mad they didn't get into that playoffs this past year.
I perfectly understand how they felt.
It was pissed.
Like how you going to like leave them out when they won every game?
Every single game. I mean,
they couldn't do better than they did.
You can only play who's on your schedule. That's not your fault. So basically, y'all had us set up for failure when y'all made this schedule. Because if we win every game,
I do remember hearing somebody say that the teams make their schedules. So
I mean, they do like
to a degree.
Yeah, like you'll go play when you play those lower teams, those lower conference teams. Those games are like put together between the two athletic directors. Yeah, okay. Two schools, those lower rank. But no, the Alabamas and when you go to the big head powerhouse team, that's the competition committee.
Right, those are ESPN, the sponsor. Those is on TV.
Yeah, and they won't have to deal with that next year because the playoffs are getting much bigger.
That is true.
That's true. But maybe who knows?
As it being the last year for that.
Not just gonna be the next person goes undefeated and then they still gonna miss and they still gonna say we should make it more.
I know.
Well, right? I mean, you're not gonna have like 12 people go undefeated, I guess.
Yeah, because it's 4 teams and they trying to expand it to 12, which it should have been that because that 4 teams is crazy. Anyway, let's just wrap up Jared Verse. I got
Can we see that? Can we see the highlights one more time? I want to try to look at what he does to this LSU offensive. And he takes him,
just runs him into.
God,
look, wait! I'm finna tell you when it come up. I seen it again. And it just
my fault. Go ahead.
No, not this one. Look, that's just man work. I'm finna show you the one. I think it's LSU.
Oh, the LSU game.
It's one of these ones. Not this one right here. I think this one. Look what he does to him.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Look at him again. He's gonna do it again. Look. He shook him. He shook him like shaking baby chicken. You put it in the bag. He just.
I like with him. He showed the strength, but he also showed the shiftiness and the handwork that he can come with. He had 9 sacks last season, 12.5 tackles for loss. Yeah. I do think he could be better in the run game, but That could be worked on. That's
I mean,
all. That's all
the run
IQ.
game is he's an edge. He's not up the middle. I mean, he can help.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can.
Mm-hmm.
I seen what he is and where he at, and like I said, if everybody do their job, I don't think that should be a red flag.
I mean, there are certain things that you can coach up a little bit.
Yes, he can get better. Of course, I'm just saying, like, is that something that we're like? It did not change my approach. If we're gonna go strictly and go 9, if he's there,
I just saw it says Chef West.
See, my thing about Jared Verse,
I'd say
I like this next guy a little better.
I know
I'm gonna kick it off. I'm gonna kick it off. Dallas Turner out of Alabama. Now this is a physical. Now look, he dominated the combine. He dominated all the. He has the most physical, the best physical traits out of all of these dudes. The dude ran a 4.40. And like I said,
you don't care about that.
I don't care about that.
But no, go ahead.
The last two guys ran 1.6 10-yard splits. He beat their 10-yard splits by a full second. It matters. 1 point, not a full second, but 10th of a second. 1.5 was his 10-yard split. The other guys we just looked at had 1.6 10-yard splits. Not to mention his 40 time is way better. His arms is the longest, 34 inches and 3/8. The other two guys we just looked at had 33 inches for Jared Verse and 32 inches for Layatu Latu. This dude got 34-inch arms. He was I think he was a senior. I don't have that information. I should have had that information, but his thing is elite traits, and I'm looking for the clip. I thought I had the clip, and I do got the clip. His thing is elite traits. His elite traits is just different. You know what I mean? He's definitely not as polished as Jared Verse is, but when it comes to the NFL loves traits. They love what the Bears call it, that RAS score.
Yeah, I had him as being heavier than those other two. I had him at 270, but I got those numbers.
That's
like
almost
a couple months ago.
Yeah, that's big.
Yeah, no,
I got those numbers like a few months ago, so may not be the combine numbers that you may have.
Yeah.
Right, and I
got about like 240, 245, something around there as well.
640. Yep.
I probably have different numbers.
Yeah,
but go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say what I liked about him outside of him, he just seemed the most power his way through. If you look at, I want to say he looks like he can handle both. I think it is. That's
you want to read that? You want to read that?
Yeah, it said, "Isn't Dallas Turner's NFL comparison Khalil Mack?" And I think it is. And I can't give him the nod in the sense of, Khalil is power, but he was really patient.
Khalil's a dog. Yeah,
he was patient, and that's what I'm saying. He's just patient with it. He's like, I know I'm gonna eat. He's like the lion at the pride. I know I can eat everybody in the plains and pride. Nobody runs the pride land better than a lion, And I think that's the kind of defensive mindset the guy's like, yeah, okay, cool. I don't need a sack every time, but I'm gonna ruin your play some way, somehow. And I like that about him, and I see that. Like I said, I got down for him. I put down 4 traits for him: power, athleticism, motor, patience. He got the power. He got the athleticism. His motor never stops. As we see some of those plays, even when the ball got past the line of scrimmage, he was still running, around. And like I said, he's patient. He's just like I said, he's the full disruption of your defensive play. Even if you get 3 yards, it could have probably been a breakout yard. Could have been back almost 15, but he's still going to keep going, and he keeps, keep that.
The Bears running. Love that. That's that hits philosophy.
Look. That's the look. Look at him. Just look. Still going. He would have fell a long time ago. Look at him. Keep going. Just keep going. Look. He's just gonna stay where I'm at.
Because Justin Fields was on that 33rd team podcast with the St. Brown brothers, and they was talking about it like some of these D linemen be too thirsty for sacks. They're not patient. As soon as you run around that left, I'm going right through that gap you just left open when
Yep.
you was thirsty to try to come get me.
Yeah.
Devin, what you got on Dallas Turner?
I like that how explosive he can be, but again, his patience helps even more. The fact that he can turn on the Jets very quickly is a good sign because he sees that gap opening up or about to open up, and he can hit that gap faster than most other people out there. And one of the things I like, he puts enough pressure that having Montez Sweat on the other side, it could really help both of them out. Like that's one of the things I felt like Montez Sweat did really well last year was other people started to get sacks just because he was putting pressure on. And if we can get somebody that puts pressure on both sides, then I think it really, really benefits the Bears' defense and ability to get more sacks.
Destin, man, I ain't see you last week, man. We had a great show last week, and we actually broke the trade news with Justin Fields last week. I ain't see you, Destin Posey. Hey, man, this is one of the first loyal the Black Bear Podcast fans out there, man. He been riding with us since we started. So every time I get the chance to get his chat up there and chop it up with him, go back and forth with him, I'm gonna do that. He said that this edge is gonna bring back the 85 monsters of the Midway. I'm calling it. We're gonna need more depth at linebacker. We need younger guys. I agree. I definitely agree.
I mean, you know how I feel about our current linebackers.
Yeah.
That's Dallas Turner. I'm gonna get some of this. Do y'all got stats on him? I think I got some stats here. 10 sacks. He had 10 sacks.
10 sacks.
Yeah, go ahead.
I said I got him at. I don't got his total. I don't think I put down his total, but I think I got him at like 28 solos, 10 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, no interceptions. But that's not why I'm bringing you to the Bears. You know,
right?
I'm bringing you to be that other side of Montez Sweat, cause that pocket to collapse, so those guys in coverage can get paid too. You know, and like I said, Posey was just right.
Any tackles for loss info?
No.
I don't got that either. I could probably Google it, but I'm not seeing it. It's fine. 10 sacks is not the most we've had. Jared Verse had more sacks than him, and no, he didn't. He had 9 sacks, but Leatu Latu had fucking 13 sacks. He was a dog. So that's Dallas Turner. Yeah. Let's move on to the next guy.
Real quick question, just for everybody here. Would you guys be like? I know that we've talked about all of them all 3 of those edge rushers. Would you be happy with any one of those? Because I'll be honest with you, like I have my favorite, but any one of those guys I think would be a huge improvement to the Bears.
Yeah, I mean, I got a couple more guys that I would consider too. Like, I mean, I got about 4 or 5 of them that I'm like, okay.
Oh, wow, I'd love to hear at 9.
Dang.
We talking 9. We don't get to the trade back players, but we talking at 9, top 10 talent.
Top 10 talent. Yeah, I'll take any one of those easily.
And you like your favorite was Verse, right?
Yeah, I like Verse. I just like, I don't know, man. I just like how he looked. He just looked the eye test.
Jared Verse. Devin, if you had to pick one of those 3 guys, who would you pick?
I'm going Latu.
Latu.
I really like Verse too, but I liked the ability with Latu of defending against the rush and the pass, because even in this league being a more passing league, there are still teams that in the past, like even last year when we were a good rushing defense, we were fairly high up there, but there were still teams that just kind of ran all over us. And I'd like to have a guy that isn't a weakness in that area.
Oh man, this is hard for me. And Destin says pick up the offensive tackle. I can't spell his name. You either talking Joe Alt or Olufashanu. I don't think you're talking in any other.
I don't think he's talking Alt if he can't spell his name.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. I don't know, man, fellas. It's a toss up for me. I'm struggling between Dallas and Leatu Latu. The only thing with Leatu Latu is, for me personally, I think he's more of a linebacker, outside linebacker, than a defensive end. And when the Bears switched to Matt Eberflus, we switched from that 3-4 to that 4-3 defense, with your hand in the dirt. You know what I mean? Hand in the dirt,
Oh, I
defensive
have
end.
the Dallas Turner's tackles for losses. Oh wait, no, that's of his total career. Never mind. I was gonna say I was seeing 32.5, and if that was 1 year, that would have been crazy. But no,
he would have been a lot
with Crimson Tide.
And what tilted me is because we're looking for edge rushers and all of those people we want to get to that quarterback, and that's their main priority of their job. Like I said, the run, having support in the run game is great, but I think Verse had like a 25% win rate.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, I mean, if you think about every down, I mean, you're going first through fourth down. I mean, he's getting to the quarterback one of those downs every time.
That's fair.
You see what I'm saying?
And then Dallas Turner, I'm stuck on Dallas Turner just because of his the elite physical talent, and it works. Yeah. He had his way with dudes. Like, it was just so easy for him at Alabama because of his physical abilities. But if I'm gonna have to choose, go ahead, Devin.
I was just gonna say, I love that all three of us picked somebody different, just because it does show that like we all have different opinions on it. But I know that I respect the two of you guys' opinions, because those two guys too,
of course,
absolute dogs. That if they're there when we are picking at 9, absolutely would be fine with them taking one.
But see, this handwork by Leatu Latu is crazy. That shit is insane to me. Let's move on. We got 2 more guys to look at. We're gonna stick with edge before we get to that D tackle that's in a world of his own right now. Braylon Trice. He's a senior out of Washington, 245, 6'3.5" tall. His 40 time was a 4.7, the slowest out of all of them. But we don't care about that. His 10-yard split was a 1.6.
I got him at, I don't know, I think it was maybe yesterday, but I got him at like 270.
I had him at 274.
Yeah, like 270, 275. And when
270 as an edge? Hold on.
That's what
I got his combine measurements up right here.
What the combine say?
He's definitely 245.
Interesting.
245, 6'3.5", 9-inch hands. Yeah, I got his combine shit up right here. 270 is heavy for edge though.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But then, like I said,
he would have had to switch positions.
Yeah, I looked at some video and tape on him. He looked like 270 though. Maybe he's 245. I don't know. Maybe we're big, but I don't know if you got some tape on him. You want to throw him up there real quick?
He ain't 270.
All right, I'm not saying that he is. I'm just saying I see him.
I was just saying I don't even want to hear two. That's big. That's huge for an edge.
Yeah.
No, take it away. Go jump into Braylon.
No. He was one of my kind of favorites after digging. After looking, like after hearing those 3 names, you're like, this who you gotta take, this who you gotta take. And I was like, okay, who else we got? Let me look at this. Let me look at some tape on him and size 9. I'm like, ooh.
Credit to you. You put me on him. I'm not. You put me on this dude.
I came in. I looked at him. I said, ooh. I said, let me rewind. I said, let me find another highlight reel of him. Like, let me find another. Look, short chops. Look, this will be one of your trade back candidates, correct? Yeah, my first. That's a big dude. Look at. I mean, look. Oh, come on. He's bigger than the O line. That's what I'm saying. Look how big he is, man. Look, Caleb know him. Caleb, let's ask Caleb how much he weighs. Because I'm still. Look at that. Look at. Come on. You said he that close. Those offensive linemen got to be close to 300 pounds. He's wide as them.
He ain't 270. He ain't close to that. That's a big man at the edge.
Look at that.
God.
Look at him. Look at him.
Him.
That's a big dude, man.
But he moving too. Oh my! Look, you just saw that. Oh my God!
I see what you're saying. Because when you hit 270 edge, you're like, how?
Yeah, you're not.
I mean, and I looked at him versus all of them. And I watched it. I'm looking. I checked a couple times. I don't think he's 245. Maybe he slimmed down for the combine. Maybe he trimmed down. Maybe he was
right.
And
all these numbers, they're definitely, they
fluctuate. They definitely get put on. But I can see him. I can see him being 260.
His plan weight
is good.
Hey,
good for him. I think it'll be good for him.
Latu is 265, so
that's what I'm saying, right? See, I mean, and he's what 6'3", 6'4".
6'3". Yep.
And I'll tell you, I was watching him, and I said, I looked and I said, I don't know why we're not talking about him. Why he not in that conversation? Why he not a possibility? What if we don't get one of those top three? What if some anomaly happens? Those are top three. Everybody gonna be looking for that. Need somebody on their line.
Like you said, trade back candidate.
Trade back, very big trade back candidate, man. And I think I liked him. I think he encompassed a lot of things. Like I said, I think he had that size. If you saw some of the way he moved, he was really diverse. He wasn't just doing you seen him a little bit everywhere, doing a little bit of everything, using his hands, using his powers, using other players. Have you seen some of those where he was just pushing other linemen into the person that was supposed to be blocking him just to get past? I thought his mindset of how he's coming off that edge was great. He had a good motor. You see him just constantly going. And I put down power and speed in one. I wouldn't call him athletic. I would say he has that two, that 1 and 2, that power, that speed. Power, speed. And he gets up.
So what I got for Braylon Trice? Can y'all fellas hear me?
Yeah, well, I'm here. I'm just watching.
Yeah, okay, yeah. My connection tripping, but not what I got, but this is what they say about him. He was a team captain with good size who is well liked by his teammates and his coaching staff. Trice isn't going to be the most skilled edge defender, but he parlays urgency and effort into impressive production. He carries a thick frame, but lacks juice as an edge rusher, and fails to stack and control tackles as a run defender. He's a better fit in gaming fronts that allow him to play on the move, but he might lack the athleticism and explosiveness needed to carry his production to the next level. Trice's try-hard demeanor and play strength give him a chance to become a decent backup defensive end in a 4-3 defense, which the Chicago Bears run a 4-3 defense. He's a try-hard. You can see it. Let me put it back up. You can see his effort. His effort is below none. He puts. Look at this.
Yeah.
Which that swim move killed.
That was nasty. That was nasty. Look at that.
I love watching these dudes because you can look. It's their highlight plays, but you can see the difference. You know what I mean? You can see the difference.
Just take you could just watch and see how different everyone is. I know Devin brought up, I think it was verse how he can I think he was saying how he can overshoot when he's coming off that edge and kind of get eliminated from that run game. Not with him. You see what I mean? He got that a lot of you see some of those where he just completely stops moving. You think he's gonna go fast and then he just stops. And then he turns and goes, see right there. You just stop and turn him in a different direction quick. You know what I mean? And maybe I'm not a defensive line coach, and maybe a lot of that is true and refined. A backup, I guess starting out in the league, I could see, maybe, but I don't see why he can't come in the league on some team that really needs some help on that. Hits, mama, hits.
Hits philosophy, and Braylon,
he brings that, and that's why I said, I saw him. I went through probably 30 defensive tackles that could be drafted right now. And like
30 in a weak defensive tackle class.
Yeah, that's almost all of them. Every possible one that could possibly come out.
You saw Byron Murphy too, huh?
Yeah.
I was looking at Byron Murphy.
I said, I'm thinking, what if we don't? What if we trade back? And I went through what everybody could pick, what we can find them at if we did want to draft them, all the way down to fourth. But that's neither here nor there. But like I said, I liked him. He was my favorite outside of the stars of them all. But yeah, Devin, what did you see that you liked about him?
Well, I didn't really look into him as much, but based on what I see, the concept of him coming in and being a good backup, honestly, with the Bears, anybody that we bring in would be a solid case to start. Even if they have
for us.
Yeah, sure, even if they have the talent of what some would say is a backup. Like you could say behind Montez Sweat, he could be a backup. Sure.
Right.
But we don't have two Montez Sweats, one on each side. So I mean, one of the nice things about like the trade back scenario and picking up this guy, you don't necessarily need to have two Montez Sweats on each side. You can have a Montez Sweat and another guy that just causes pressure. Yeah. And if you have somebody just there actively spoiling the causing pressure, worrying the quarterback and stuff like that, you get them to make the mistakes. Like our guy opposite of Sweat this year, I can't even remember who it was, but once we got Sweat, he got a few sacks in there and he wasn't causing much pressure beforehand.
Yeah.
Yannick Ngakoue or whatever, something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, like we all know Montez made the defense better. It's a ripple effect, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Just imagine putting two ripples. And that's why I'm not really, that's why I'm just looking for that. And I really just focused on it. I didn't try to take into account too much of the, when we was talking about these edges, even just the defensive line as the run game per se, because, that's a more of a, team kind of like, linebacker.
Fill your gaps
kind of thing.
Defensive
and
tackles.
That's not what I'm drafting at this pick. I'm drafting somebody to shrink that pocket.
Right.
To help shrink that pocket. I got one person on one side pushing that circle in. I need that other side just to push it in. And to cause that pressure. Yannick Ngakoue, you're right, Pose. And that's what I'm looking for. Everything else, like you said, Marcus, we can work on the rest of the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We can work on the rest of the run stuff. We can work on that. We can work on size. We want you to be lighter. We want you to be heavier. We can work on that. We can work on getting the speed up. We can work on that. We can work with that.
And that's the thing. Yeah, these dudes gonna get their NFL body. They don't got their NFL body right now. You know what I mean?
They gonna hit puberty.
Yeah, the NFL, NFL trainers gonna give them dude, that you snap. I ain't gonna lie, you fucking snap.
I'm mad I cooked last night and I got flour and stuff. I wiped on it. That's why I was like,
that's gonna need to be your Twitter handle or something. Once we got one more guy to take a look at. And it's the cream of the crop for defensive tackles in this draft. My only thing with this is I think the Chicago Bears like Javon Dexter and Zach Pickens. I think they like those boys. I think they're going to give them, especially with Justin Jones leaving for Arizona Cardinals, I think they're going to give them boys a chance to make names for themselves. But I do think this guy we about to look at right now is better than both of them. Hey, I wasn't high on Javon Dexter. When we picked Javon Dexter, I was like, whoa. And then I looked at him. I'm like, whoa, this dude is slow. I made reels on it. I'm like, this dude is fucking slow. But the guy I'm talking about right now is Jerzon Newton, a.k.a. Johnny Newton, a.k.a. Johnny Brothers, a.k.a. whatever. He got a lot of a.k.a.s.
Right, homegrown, home-fed.
Destin said, one thing I don't like about our recent offseason is the fact that Poles love signing former Packers. How do y'all feel about that last signing? Is he talking Jonathan Owens?
Yeah.
Are you talking Jonathan Owens? If you talking Jonathan Owens, we talked about that last week, and we ain't feeling it.
We gave him his flowers.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't feel like he's a player that's going to affect us in any way. But
I don't mind. I
He
don't
said,
mind.
yeah, he
Taking,
talking about
yeah,
Owens.
yeah. I don't mind taking Packers players. It's not like I hate the players. So
I mind it. We don't need them.
Like I said, then my whole thing is if that's the best you could do, then okay, I can understand that much. Cool.
Right. If it's
Cool.
a dog, you know,
If it's
when
a dog,
we
yeah,
signed
somebody
Jared
that,
Allen.
yeah, something like you know what I mean? Yeah,
But Jonathan
like,
Owens is a depth piece. We could have got
right.
depth from anywhere in the league.
Like I said,
You know what I mean?
Like I said, I don't know.
Maybe
what
he gonna give us some secrets, some Packer secrets.
Maybe.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. My whole thing is, am I opposed to it? Not necessarily. I'm just not. It's like the Chicago Cubs. You know, I'm from Chicago, but I'm a Sox fan, so I got all the love, you know, for the Cubs. Like, if they do well, they do well. That's fine. If you come over here from the Packers and they do well and they do their job, and you know, then we fine. Like Luke Getzey. If Luke Getzey would have came in and made the offense look better and seem better and do better, I would have nothing, you know, really much to say about Luke Getzey. But since
Can y'all boys hear me?
we can hear you now,
Just can't see me.
You cutting in and out as far as like your video.
Yeah, you can't see me though, right?
Yeah, no, I can't see you.
All right.
But yeah, just to go into that, to continue with that whole Packer thing. Let's see if he can get this video back up. I don't have no problem with it as long as you're doing your job and doing what you're supposed to do. Don't come over like he was just saying, giving us the Packer secret or whatever. Don't come over here and not do nothing. That's just, you know, then I'm gonna stop liking you as a player. No matter what you play with, I'll probably always root against you.
Kind of like Luke Getzey. A lot of people were saying last year, towards the end of the year, he was some secret Packer. Yeah. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that, but at the same time, you really can't know what's going on, and so kind of makes you concerned about taking that risk.
Yeah, could be.
But like these people are professionals.
Yeah, no, I hear you, and that's another thing, and that's why I said, like, am I opposed to it? Not at all. If it's going to better the team, would that be the first place I go looking for talent? Probably not. I'm
with you there,
but I know he got go ahead.
I was gonna say though, it's not like, to be honest, it's not like the Packers are a terrible team. It'd be like if you're going to like the Carolina Panthers for offensive line help, then you crazy.
Right.
So like if you're looking at the Packers for an area where they excel and you're taking a player away from them there, then I kind of understand.
Definitely.
But at the same, like you said, if they come and they play and they do their job for us, I don't hold nothing against anybody for playing on the Packers except for like maybe Aaron Rodgers because of how he acted towards the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, I really don't like Aaron Rodgers at all.
I don't like him as a person. But I feel like if he were on the Bears, I still might be a little suspect on that.
I honestly, I know this is gonna sound crazy, and this is just tell you how much. And I'm trying to be, you know, a good person on this live and not let the world see like a negative side of me. I know I'm bubbly, I'm nice, and all that kind of stuff, but I fucking hate Aaron Rodgers, dude. Like, even if I had to choose to win the next 10 Super Bowls with Aaron Rodgers and not, I honestly would prefer not to. It's that kind of thing. Like, what would you know? What would you do for money? You know what I mean? How much money would it cost, or how much would I have to pay you to kill like a loved one, or how much money I would have to give you to do something that's against your moral and your core values in life and all that kind of stuff.
And that's Aaron Rodgers is against your core values.
How y'all get back to Aaron Rodgers? I leave for 1 second and we'll talk about the quarterbacks again.
No, we were just talking about Packer players and them coming over and who we okay with and all this kind of stuff. And honestly, I told him, if I had to choose between winning the next 10 Super Bowls for the Chicago Bears with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback versus not, I would rather not.
Oh my God. Oh.
I fucking hate Aaron Rodgers so much.
Oh man.
And I said that's personal. That's personal.
It's definitely personal. It really got personal when he said I own you. when he said that shit.
Oh,
Can y'all hear
it's
me?
all about that for me. Yeah.
Y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really got personal when he said that I own you, but he said the next 10 Super Bowls.
You know
Hell
how
no.
bad it is? I was talking to a buddy of mine
sign me
who's a
up,
Raiders
Aaron
fan. And when I was talking to him about it, he legitimately thought that Aaron Rodgers was a part owner of the Chicago Bears. And he has thought that for a while now because of how much it gets said. And I'm like, at that point, that's what gets me pissed off and stuff, because you get to a certain point where it goes further than just kind of like jawing at each other and stuff like that. Like, to be fair, the rivalry between the Bears and the Packers is very deep, and it's a very long rivalry. But when you have it go so far that players of other or fans of other teams legitimately think that another quarterback for a different team is a part owner of your team just because of him saying that all the time, it goes too far for me.
Yeah, that look, like I said, I just popped back in, and he said he not taking Aaron Rodgers even if he gonna give us the next 10 Super Bowls. I disagree. I'm taking Aaron Rodgers. I love to win.
It'd be a difficult 10-year stance for me as a Bears fan, but I would find another player that I liked enough to support the franchise and that I would enjoy seeing. While you wouldn't see me going out and buying an Aaron Rodgers jersey for playing for the Bears.
That's crazy. But hey, look, everybody fans how they want to fan. That's why I hate when people try to like criticize fans for feeling the way about Justin or feeling the way about Caleb. People gonna fan how they fan. We got one more player to move on to. We gonna get this player broken down and we gonna get up out of here. Jerzon Newton. Jerzon Newton is he's a beast. He's a beast. Y'all can see it. He is the top defensive tackle in this draft, and I gotta pull up my notes on him again. Chef West, you want to take it over for Jerzon Newton real quick?
Let's just call him Johnny Newton. Let's not murder his name. Let's just call him Johnny Newton. I think I got him like 26 solo tackles, 7.
Jerzon, it's Jerzon. What you mean, Jerzon?
Jerzon. I mean,
he also goes by Johnny.
Yeah, like you said, Johnny.
That's what I was gonna say. I didn't understand it. I don't know. I thought it was a typo.
I thought they were two different people, to be honest, when I was looking them up.
Yeah, man, that was crazy.
I'm like,
but yeah, you
Illinois
talk about
both of these guys.
Yeah, you talking about a guy that's built already, like I mean, like physically, right? Ain't no, they're physically ready for the NFL. This is what I look at. This guy is nice. He's big. He's strong. Man, if you look at some of this, the way he's just like parting these guys and moving these guys around,
right.
I also see like some patience in his game too a little bit. You could tell he's not just maybe he's lacked some technique, but I think it's more he's one of those guys. Like I said, I don't know. I want to keep saying the same thing. I think I put him up there simply because I can see his development in the future of, being in the league and being a part of having that Bears defensive mindset. That I think it was Post said Monsters on the Midway may be back. This is one of those guys, he played in Illinois, so he can play in that Chicago Bears weather on them really cold days. He can play.
He's used to it.
He's used to it.
He better be used to it.
Yeah, he's pretty used to it. Just look. He's just, God, dude.
This is a D tackle. Every other player we talked about were edges. This y'all seeing is a D
defense.
Tackle.
Look at him. Just look at him. Just look at him. Look
he
like
can
right there.
move.
See that? Did you see that right there? That last clip, that push, and when he saw him come out, how he just opened the door on Buddy. and then hit the speed with it. You know, like I said, like that's impressive. That motor is what I'm talking about. Not giving up on those plays and not just getting down to
Johnny
the ball.
Newton, 6'2", senior out of Illinois, 304 pounds. That is a D tackle. That's a big man. 32-inch arms though. A little short on the length. Like I said, he also goes by Johnny. Let's see what I got. He was first team Associated Press All-American, Big Ten Conference. Big Ten. I follow the Big Ten heavy. That's really the only conference I watch. Big Ten Conference Defensive Player of the Year. First team All Big Ten finalist for the how do you say that? For the top defender, Nagurski. Yeah. The Nagurski Trophy, which is essentially the Defensive Player of the Year for the entire NCAA. He was a finalist for that. He led the team with 7.5 sacks from the D tackle spot, which is big. Led the FBS with a school record of 4 block kicks.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. That is wild. He had 8.5 tackles for loss and 2 pass breakups and 1 forced fumble. Johnny Newton is definitely the best defensive tackle in this draft. If you were going there, like I said before we started talking about him, I think Ryan Poles and Matt Eberflus gonna give those young boys they drafted last year, Javon Dexter, and Zach Pickens. They gonna give them a chance to actually, show what they can do. But if we were still if we didn't have 2 young prospects, they're taking him in. They're getting him in what, second round?
I got him 60th, second round, 60th pick possibly.
60th pick.
I think that's what.
I think that might be a steal.
Yeah, and I've seen it fluctuate up and down, and I even looked at some fan drafts just to see if everybody else was looking at it, and a lot of people actually is putting them in there, and like I said, that's a steal. I mean, I seen him as low as high third round. If he gets down to the third round, then it's just like we need to reevaluate how we are doing.
How we reevaluate how we evaluate
the league. Somebody needs to be fined. There should be penalties because, like I said, this guy is ready. He's day one ready. Just like he was. I think we were talking about. Maybe we were talking about Trice or something that they gave him the whole might be a backup kind of thing.
Yeah, the NFL. That was NFL Network's evaluation.
Yeah, not this guy though. This guy is today ready. Look at that man. He ain't even look, man. That's a big man. It ain't a jersey big enough for that dude. That man is big. That man is fast, and that man can play. And like I said, this is when I put my chef hat on and my apron and everything, and we talk about trading back and really building this league and maximizing the talent that's in this draft.
We got to make Chef West a segment, man.
Yeah, man.
Maybe you go 5 minutes and you just cooking on a topic. That's something. Yeah, my boy.
But yeah, that's my whole thing. It's like I said, that's my. If I want to do right by the Chicago Bears organization, as opposed to kind of do, go that route. I would still keep cooking. I see how much we got next season. I'll just be flipping these picks and getting this talent and bringing all these guys in. Because honestly, with this talent and what we can get next year, what we got right now, all that kind of stuff. I mean, like I said,
the future is bright.
Johnny Newton. Devin, do you got anything else on Johnny Newton that we haven't said yet?
Now, one of the things that I liked about him is at his position, you definitely do need to be good at both the pass rush and defending against the run. And he is very good at both. So throwing that in there, along with one of the things that I felt like watching his film and stuff like that is that he's very good at creating sack attempts for other players.
Mm-hmm.
And so he puts other people in a better position to get the sack. And it's one of those situations that those types of things don't always necessarily play out on the stat sheet. So for the people that only look at stats without watching the actual games, They're not going to see that as well, because he's the type of player that puts your QB in a position where maybe he runs out to the side a little bit more and then gets sacked by one of your edges.
Mm-hmm.
And so having a player like that, and I think I saw that he would be a good fit for 3-tech for us. And having a good player in that position would really benefit our defense.
The most important position on the Bears defensive line with that 4-3 scheme is the 3-tech. You need to collapse that pocket from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, Johnny Newton to do that.
Newton ain't no stepping up. You step into that pass.
Exactly.
Your goose is cooked. Like you
now,
are done.
If we could get him as well as one of the edges, I would be very happy with that.
Yeah.
I would be very I mean, I know it's very unlikely, but if we could do something like that, our defensive line would just not only set up themselves to get a whole bunch of sacks, but set up our defensive backs in the back there to just pick off left and right, missed passes, tipped passes, very good at doing all that type of stuff, and just blocked kicks. It's like,
yeah. I mean,
wow.
TJ gonna eat, Tremaine gonna eat. It's like we talking about like them collapsing the pocket and all of those things, and just being good enough to be a distraction. That's what Montez Sweat really brought. That's why he had so much. It was the distraction of him made our defense so much better, way better. Just to know he's right there. Just that
they have to hurry up now.
Yeah, you have to hurry. You have to. Hey, look, it's like Aaron Donald. Like I don't care. Okay, who else is on the field on that defense? We got Aaron Donald. Like I don't think a defensive coordinator is like, oh man, they might. They're gonna blitz the corners and all that. Before they even think about picking up blitzes and all that, can we get like 5 people over here to block Aaron Donald? And then
when I'm watching film, when you watching film, you look at that player, you like, okay, look, we not letting him wreck this game. That shit ain't gonna happen. He might do it. We gonna give him a chance. We gonna have him with some, but Donald, we gonna do everything in our power to make sure he don't wreck this game. Because if he wrecks this game, we have no chance. And that's that simple.
And that's what Montez Sweat brought to the Bears that second half of the season. And that's why, like I said, what was the first 8 games, 2 sacks? And Montez Sweat ended up with 10 sacks at the end of the season by himself. And everybody said like a difference that they make. That's honestly, he changed that defense overnight completely. And with this 9th pick, we can solidify. I mean, not just change, solidify. Like I said, I put my Jon Snow meme in our text message today because I was feeling like the Kings of the North. And I'm telling you, everybody tried to give me the whole, how we've been in the past and all that. And right now, the past is the past for me right now, except for, obviously my JF1 jersey. But like I think we can beat Green Bay. I don't know why. I can't find the reasons why.
We should have beat them this year.
We should have beat them. That's how I said we should have beat them. I don't know what happened. I don't know what it was. It was just stupid. But
things that weren't happening all year, all of a sudden were
happening.
Like,
it was crazy.
We were one of the best rushing defenses towards the latter part of the season, and yet they just ran all over us.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense.
It's one of those things where things just weren't. They weren't playing to the level of what they've shown that they
was accustomed to. Yeah, for sure. And like I said, the
defense happened.
Yeah.
Justin Fields happened. Just say it. Just say it.
No. My whole thing is the second half of that season. The second half of the season, it was like, okay, we had some type of identity going into games. Yeah, and like I said, that Lions games, those we lost by 1. I think last season was like 6 or 7 games. We lost by 1 score, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We was even that good against way better teams than Green Bay. You know what I mean? So
the Lions were like 1 play away from going to the Super Bowl.
And I don't want to prolong this because I know Chef West We approaching that 3-hour mark that
I know.
yeah.
Yeah, I know we getting there, and I think we went through everything. I do like I want to cut that off, but I did have a couple more people. I don't know if you got I don't know if you got anything on them that I saw as far as like trading back and some other little pieces that we could put on that defense.
Do you want to get in? Do you want to talk to a Chef? Hey, Chef.
I mean, like I looked at what is he out of Missouri? I think his name Darius. I think he's a tackle too, but
Darius Robinson. Chop Robinson. Robinson. First of all, Chop is a motor. That is like a Russell Westbrook on the fucking D line. But who else you got?
And then somebody else that I looked at and he was pretty cool. I don't know. I saw his highlights and I just like the eye test got me. Stats didn't do a lot for stats. He's a different type.
But the eye test, I'm glad you said the eye test.
The eye test, and then the name is Tavondre Sweat.
Oh yeah,
that's Josh Sweat's brother.
That's what's his name? Teammate though. What school he went to?
He's I think he's at Texas.
Oh, okay.
I think I put him down for maybe it's Texas. Yeah, I got him for Texas. He a Longhorn. But I saw when I was going through all the clips and looking at the best hits and what the draft has to offer and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, I think he only had like 2 sacks, 18 solo tackles. But as far as like I said, like what they said about what was that verse or whatever about not even verse Trice about being a second string, like this is a solid guy that you can bring in, to give Montez a break. That one those snaps that Montez take out, you can bring him in and it don't change.
These are, and I want to be clear when I always want to be clear when we talk about this. These are now trade back players. If we trade back from 9. Okay.
If we trade back from 9. Like I said, our first 3 different picks that we had, that's if we use the 9 pick. But if we still use the 9 pick to do something different, these are equivalent of getting that Latu Verse or Dallas Turner kind of thing, where we get 2 of these guys to equal maybe one of those guys.
Yeah,
they can even be where one of them can start, one of them can rotate in behind them. You could start, Trice and then bring in Sweat behind them and just pop them in and out, every 6-7 downs and keep that pressure, keep that energy on that line where ain't nobody tired, they just standing there breathing.
Because you got to keep these guys fresh. You got to
keep them fresh, and that's another thing too. And I think. Why I agree with Dexter and all of the guys we got last year is I think a lot of them just tired because they was out there and they was out there for a while and they kept having to go back out there because, like we said, because of Justin Fields and the offense.
If we can have sustainable drives on offense, that should help going forward.
Right.
But I mean, I will say the downfall of one aspect being that if you have short fields, like we were talking about earlier in our segment, having short fields because of our defense doing well, getting interceptions, stuff like that, it means less time that the offense is going to be out there. So we might need to, if we expect that we're going to have something like that, we might need some players to be able to play 2-3 downs or a whole possession, maybe give our other guys some rest.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah, and God forbid, that's what I got. It was something else that I had.
I just want to put this out there, and I know a lot of people already know it, especially Devin. When you told me last week or the week before that, I think when the Vikings traded those picks to get better picks to position themselves to move up. I just got a report across my phone. Minnesota will be aggressive for JJ McCarthy. Yeah. So
that kind of expected as much. And I think I've heard that was one of the guys they were going after. And a lot of people have said that having him in that situation, because I can't really remember why they said, but having him in that situation really could benefit him. I don't know if it's just because of Justin Jefferson or if it's because of the coaching.
It's definitely those two.
It's definitely
2 stud receivers and TJ Hawkinson. You gotta look.
You're right.
That's they rival us in my opinion, as one of the best receiving cores in this league in our division as well. So a rookie quarterback would be great for them, and I hope they don't pull it off, but we'll see.
Like I said, I don't think it matters.
You just hope for being a Bears fan that they don't pull it off.
No, even if they do, I'm not. I don't know, man.
You're not high on JJ?
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. I think he's gonna be good. I think he's gonna do well. Am I scared that they
personally?
Nah.
I don't see every time when people bring him up, all they do is bring up the fact that he won the championship. And it's like, well,
that means something.
That means that there's no other good players because none of the others won a championship. Like, yes, I do admit that having that experience of going in and knowing that you're in the playoffs, you lose and you're out, but you played 2 games. So it's not like the playoffs for the NFL where you have to consistently string together some wins to get to that Super Bowl. It's like you win your first game and then you go on to the championship.
JJ McCarthy didn't throw the ball that much. They weren't a passing team. They was using what's his name? Is it Blake Corum? They're running back. They were running the ball. They were playing some defense.
He's the guy that I like his story. He worked his ass off to get where he was. And I mean, I'm not a big Michigan fan, being that I'm an Iowa fan, and I know you aren't a big Michigan fan, being that you're a Ohio State fan.
Buckeye Nation.
But I do remember hearing his story when they were when I was watching one of the games, and I do like his story, and I feel like he had an amazing career with Michigan. Honestly, I'm just surprised that that Harbaugh isn't considering the concept of trying to trade up to get, because they seem to be doing a big rebuild out there and with the Chargers. So
there's no chance. Justin Herbert's making a lot of money over there. Yeah. He's proven himself.
I think, you're right. No, I'm with you, Mark. Yeah, and it's I'm pretty sure Harbaugh would like it.
Yeah,
if the situation dictated it.
He's legit said numerous times.
Harbaugh's taking a receiver. He's definitely taking a receiver. So
I mean, there's so many of them.
If Marvin falls to 5, he's taking him. Go ahead.
I've heard some people say this as a potential because right now we really only have like 2 of our receivers that we're really sure on. And I've heard some people say instead of taking a receiver at 3, which is definitely a possibility because there are a couple that could drop, or not 3, 9. Instead of taking one at 9, which is a possibility because there are a few of them that could drop there. What about somebody said taking the receiver from USC, Rice?
At 9?
Not at 9. No, much later in the draft.
In the trade back scenario or something.
No, more like in a scenario like where
we only got
maybe in like the 3rd round.
We don't got a third rounder.
I thought we had a 3rd round.
Yeah, we do. We have the 9th, we have a 3rd, and we have a 4th. This is outside of our number 1 pick. We only got 3 picks outside of that number 1 pick. We got the 3rd, like you just said, Devin. We got the 9th pick, and we got the 4th, a 4th rounder. So
I didn't know.
I was thinking, like, how would you guys feel about maybe taking somebody that if we decide to take Caleb, how would you feel about taking somebody like Rice that he already has a connection with, to kind of maybe at least have somebody that he can feel comfortable throwing to, at least in certain situations? He already knows their game well enough. Is that something you guys would be interested in them doing?
I thought about that
first, Wes.
Yeah, we already had this conversation. I already thought about that. And in lieu of Caleb Williams going to get a Jaden Daniels and making sure we can get neighbors and a good offensive lineman and still get some help on the defensive line. Like just taking our first round picks and getting more picks and doing something in that nature. And I'm all for our 3rd receiver being super, super familiar with whoever is behind him. If it's Caleb, yes, go get Rice. If it's Daniels, I would let out Neighbors, Michael Penix. We can go get I think it's a Rome in Rome. Adunaze is Penix's guy, and you know that would be perfect because, like I said, you get those two veterans receivers that he's going to be throwing to teach him. But whenever he kind of when in doubt, throw it to your homie. Kind of you got that kind of feeling. He knows what you're going to do when you panic because he's seen you panic before. He's know what you're going to do when in the door. That would be awesome for sure. So.
And like you said, I agree with everything you just said. It's perfect for just to have that guy that's comfortable with your quarterback as the third option. Usually those third options don't even get used, but he gonna think about them a little more now because he knows who it is. They probably talked on the way to the game like, hey man, hey, look for me on this route now. Keenan might not be open. They gonna be watching Keenan. DJ, his route is just to clear somebody out. So hey, look for me on, communication like that. I would love for it because I honestly, me personally, I don't think we should take any player as far as importance. No center. I don't take a center with that third round pick because for what? Don't take an edge rusher because for what? He's gonna be a backup rotation. I want important play because we only got 3 picks outside of Caleb Williams. Every pick you make needs to be someone that you have a legit plan to use. You know what I mean? So
I feel that.
I would love for that to happen. And y'all already thought I was gonna say Caleb should have 7,000 passing yards. So I'm all for bringing in anything to help this kid work because and I wish I didn't play the Jalen Johnson clip because we didn't need it. But well, it's a fine line between going at this kid and making sure he, it's a fine line between that and remembering, oh, you brought him in to win y'all games. Like you can't just dump on the dude the whole damn time. At some point, you got to remember this is our quarterback. We need to make him better in any way, shape, or form. Any way we can. We got to make him better. He is the quarterback. We can try to pick him off in practice every day or do whatever. But at the end of the day, you got to help him get better.
Yeah.
So
no, for sure. And I don't know if we talked about. I mean, I know they wasn't great, but we did get 2 more veteran tackles, and Jake Martin and Byron Kyle. I think it's Cowrie. I don't know how to say his name.
Curhan or whatever.
Yeah. To sure up. So, and I brought that up out in the offensive tackle from Seattle, Jake Curhan as well. As far as beefing up that line, and I bring that up to kind of piggyback on what you just said, Mark, about what we're gonna do with these picks. These picks are not backups. We're signing some backups. We're signing some rotation pieces in veterans already. So if we're gonna bring this young guy in, if we're putting you in to be in the front, you got some help. We're gonna bring some veterans in that can a kid do this, a kid do that kind of mentality, mentorship going on. But it's OJT. This it ain't no, there's no no training before you go to work. Like we're not gonna pay to train. No. Coming in, you learn it on the job, and that's what you're gonna do. You got a great support system, and like I said, honestly, the way that we're building this team, I don't think it mattered who was going to be a quarterback, and I think we still would have been more successful than we were last season for sure.
Without a doubt, I think, and when you say who, I'm gonna say Justin. Even if Justin was the quarterback, I think we're going to the playoffs. But I say that because I don't think Justin was even Ryan Poles' plan B. If he was taking Caleb, I don't think he was keeping Justin. It wasn't Justin or Caleb to him. I think it was either you're trading Justin. You see, he got a 6th round pick, but it's either I think his plan B was like a Drake May, a Jaden Daniels, or whatever. So when you say any quarterback, any of those guys, Justin, Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nick, whoever you want, will be successful with this setup because I don't think Bears fans are letting that sink in enough. They focus so much on the quarterback, which That's the age we live in. It's the era we're in.
Yeah.
But this team is so good. Literally, you drop an edge rusher in there with Montez Sweat, that D line is perfect. You drop a third receiver in there, that wide receiver room is complete. You know what I mean? You drop a center on that O line, you got you some protection. So I don't think Bears fans look at it enough how like this roster is set up to succeed with any quarterback. Now coaching got to do their job, but still.
We'll have another segment on that later.
Yeah. Do y'all fellas got any other topics, any other articles, news reports, anything y'all want to touch on? This that we have gone 3 hours, and I know I was warned about the 3 hour mark, but hey,
it's all right.
It's football. It's Chicago Bears. Y'all know how it go.
And like I said, it is some. Like I said, there's still some veterans out there, like Leonard Williams. I want to bring up Jadeveon Clowney. Still ain't found a place. Justin, I look, there's a couple veterans that is out there, and I know people want to talk about money and maybe they're gonna cost or something like that, but I don't think.
First of all, do y'all know our cap? Anybody know our cap?
Oh, where we at right now? I don't know.
We sitting at 30 million. Pretty.
Even after all those signings, we still got some.
Still got.
I think I've read that we need some money for free or for drafting, but with how few number of draft picks we've got, we don't need the 15 million or whatever that a lot of other teams might need.
Ain't no draft pick getting,
Yeah. Well, no, but like if you have like 7 or 8, maybe 9 draft picks, you might need the 10 plus million, 12 million or something like that, signing bonuses or whatever. I don't know if that factors into the cap, but like as far as all that goes, but we only got 4 picks, so
correct.
And one is going to a quarterback, so that is interesting because Roquan Smith held out. I don't know if y'all remember, he held out his rookie year. Roquan didn't show up to fucking training camp or none of that. He showed up that first game, and I just think about maybe, do y'all think that will be an issue with Caleb? Because as far as getting that rookie contract done, I don't think he'll sit out or anything like that, but officially signed, that's important to be officially signed. If you're not officially signed, we can talk all we want all through the offseason and OTAs and training camp.
Yeah.
If Roquan held out, I think Caleb, if them numbers ain't look, you know what I mean? Everybody's saying he a diva, he's Hollywood. You think he gonna be, his agents or not? He don't even got an agent.
This daddy.
His papa.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think the Bears is going to give him an opportunity to even get into that kind of situation. I think they're going to be like, okay, this makes
very
sense.
Generous.
Oh yeah, all right, cool. I don't want to hear. Like I said, we bringing everybody to the barbecue to see him. We doing, you know what I'm saying? We're going above and beyond to not only make sure he's a good fit for us, but make sure he knows he's a good fit for. We're a good fit for him, and to come in and try to like play him on the money side of it would be all that work for nothing. You know what I mean? That would be for nothing.
100% agree.
Like, okay, this is very reasonable right here, Caleb. Like, actually, this is a little bit more than what somebody else would normally get. You know what I mean? At something like that, at like a, give him 55, we take 45, kind of what you would go above, because he's your like I said, he's your generational talent. He's your franchise quarterback, your superstar. Like you're saying, you want to come in and try to give him average money?
What's the point? What's the point in doing all this if you?
What's the point of doing all that if you're going to come in stingy? What's the point of coming outside if you ain't have no money? Stay at home. Can't even pay to get in.
Yeah,
honestly, I don't see them doing that. Like, I don't see, like, they asked him in because they were talking to him in one of his interviews that he did for Pro Day. He's quoted as saying he wants to play for a team and a fan base and a like organization stuff that cares. And as far as like passion and caring about football, the Chicago Bears are pretty high up there. I would say maybe one of the few ones above them are like the Raiders because they can get pretty passionate, their fan base, Raider Nation out there. But the Bears are pretty high up there. Very historic franchise that they want to win. They want to play hard. And if you can go out and do that, the Bears fan base will get behind you. So I think that he, as long as he cares. I mean, he wants a team that cares.
So that look, we put on a great show. Is we have been on live for 3 hours. We had people come and go. If you watching, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, the Black Bear Podcast. One word, no space.
Turn on that notification bell so you'll know when we go live next time.
Right.
Yes, sir. Because there's a few people who said they didn't even know. So I got my boy Devin, my boy Chef West. I can't really see y'all handles. I can't really see him. But
it's Hefner West 87.
Yep. Go ahead, Devin. What's your
Mine
handle?
is Black Bear Pod Dev.
Go follow the boys at the handles, and then Mark Rob, your boy, the host. I just got one more question before we get out of here. Like I said, we've been on here for a long time. One more question for y'all, and this question has bothered me throughout this whole Caleb Williams saga, but even before we traded Justin Fields. Do y'all think Caleb Williams, and it might be a terrible question, it might be easy. Do y'all think Caleb Williams wants to be a Bear?
That's a tough one, I think.
I'll let you go, Dev. Honestly, no. And I would say it's an easy question because that's like saying, hey, I'm an athlete. It's like, hey, you can go number 1 overall. You can go to the Detroit Pistons, or you can drop down to 2 and go to the Chicago Bulls. Do you really want to go to the? Yes, I want to be the number 1 overall draft pick.
Yes, I want to go to the Bulls either.
But I would definitely prefer to go home. Like I'm just, I could definitely, you know what I mean? Like, do I want to go to?
I don't want to go to the Bulls.
Do I want to go to? I'm just saying, I would want to play for my hometown. I would want to play at home in front of, and not just people that have, like, when he go to DC, a lot of those fans in DC, a lot of people who know him. They know him. A lot of them people with them cousins, some cousins, some distant friends, some ex-girlfriends, and some all. He gonna have a whole family around him if he was to go to DC, and I think that's the reason he doesn't really want to be a Bear, because he's.
You think that's the reason? That's interesting.
I think because he's so close to
Devin, I want to get your opinion on this, but first I want to shout out Nicholas Carmelo Robinson. That's my brother. That's the dude I've been telling y'all about. He criticized me just like y'all do on my Caleb Williams love. But yeah, I just want to give him that shout out because he but Destin says no, I honestly don't.
I'm with you.
And he jumped in and he said, if you're him for real, then it don't matter. Devin, what you think? Do you think Caleb Williams really want to be a Bear? And if not, why not?
I think down to his core, it might be one of those, like, he wants to go out and, based on what I've seen, he wants to go out and play ball. Yeah. He may not necessarily feel like the Chicago Bears as an organization have handled their quarterbacks very well, and he would be right. But the organization that mishandled previous quarterbacks is not the same organization that you're walking into. It's the same owners, but it's not the same. It's not the same GM. It's not the same coach. We've had a couple of coaches since the last time we drafted a quarterback. So we're trying to do something that we haven't done before as far as bringing our quarterbacks into a good situation. So looking at the talent that, like, for example, Washington, which I think would be the only place he might want to go to based on family and stuff like that. But if that were the case, he wouldn't have gone to USC. Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard to think that, like, he would want to go to USC, which is so far away from the Washington, D.C., it's like if he wanted to play near home, he would have had that choice, especially with the type of quarterback he was. He played for Oklahoma, and then he moved even further away and then went to USC. Now, I guess at the end of the day, does he want to play for the Bears? I think the only person that really knows is him. And
Right.
personally, I think that he just wants to play ball. He expects, he hopes, he thinks that he's going to be that number one pick. And whoever is the one holding that pick, like I feel like I've heard him sidestep a few times with different things when asked this type of question. But I feel like the reason that he gives it, like the answers he's giving, is to make it so that like other teams don't think, oh, well, he wants to play for Chicago, so I'm not even going to think about draft going up to draft. Like he may not necessarily want to like potentially kind of like hinder his chances with any other team if he says he wants to play for the Bears. You know, like I feel like the way the social media and the press in general and stuff are these days, anything you say, they take a little clip of it and run with it and make you out to be this bad, awful person. So maybe he's trying to be very selective with his words about this type of a question, because he knows that if he says he doesn't want to play for Chicago, then it's going to be over. The fans aren't going to really ever get behind him.
Well, and we'll put a bow on this after this. This is what I think about the whole thing. And Bears fans are this is my issue with Bears fans, because I find myself going at it with Bears fans more than Packer fans or any other fans these days. Listen, are you upset? Let's just say Caleb don't want to be a Bear. Are you upset about that? Can you blame him? Like, do you know? Okay, look, what are the odds of being a first to ever do something? What are the odds of being the first to ever take this team and take it to a level? And we just talking about quarterback, not even just the record, because we won a Super Bowl, but it was a long ass time ago. But what are the odds of you being that first 4,000-yard passer that the Bears never had, and every other NFL franchise has had a 4,000-yard passer but the Chicago Bears? What are the odds that will be you? You know what I mean? What are the odds that you will throw 30 touchdowns in a season, which the Chicago Bears have not had? It's slim. When you talk about becoming a first to do something, it puts a lot of weight on your shoulders, and it also looks at the organization, not the team, the organization as a whole. So can you blame him if he honestly said, the Bears ain't my top 10 list. I got 10 teams, but they got the number one pick, so I'm going to go play for him. I don't think he's not going to ball out for us, because he ain't got no choice. That's the way I look at it. You ain't got no choice. If you care so much about being Jordan, being remembered like Jordan, these are his words and his camp's words, and legacy, and you want to be immortal, well, you're going to have to do it here with Chicago. But I'm not going to blame you for looking at the history of this franchise and not wanting to become another casualty on the list of names you just sent me, Wes.
You see, I sent you out of all of those names on that list. We can get into it again. We could definitely have a whole 3 hours. I can go 3 hours on just who the Bears drafted them since I've been breathing air. Only 5 of them was first round picks in 30 plus years. Only 5 of them, I think, was first round picks.
And that go back to, that's why I say you got to keep taking swings on these quarterbacks. But keep going. I'm gonna let you get your point.
And my whole thing is, what are the chances and the odds? Look at that list. That your odds are extremely good, Caleb. Look at the team. It's extremely well. At some point in time, and I don't know, like I said, maybe like on Devin's piggyback off there, maybe he's just trying to keep things close, not to say nothing and choose his words. Why? At some point in time, you have to show that you're excited. At some point in time, you have to show that you're ready. And not for fans. It's for whoever, because it's for those people in that locker room. Because if you come out on that, because I know you saying it in the sense of the fans' point of view if he wants to be a Bear or not. But you're finna go into a locker room. You say you're finna lead a room full of Bears. You don't want to be one of us. You don't want to wear this jersey. You want to sit next to me and not be one of us.
Come on, Wes. I know you got an analogy for it. You the analogy king. You ain't got an analogy for y'all cool. Y'all cool, but your mama mean.
No. It's
your pops be yelling when I come over there. I don't know if I want to. He gonna make me clean up, and that's ain't my house. I don't know.
It's like Jim Crow back in the day. It's like all the Bears coming to Caleb Wiliams' restaurant. He said, "You kind of ain't one around here." I don't want to be one of y'all. Cause what? We're a football franchise. We're the oldest football franchise. You think I want to go somewhere? We're probably the best fans. Devin, you tried to give it to the Raiders. We created fans. We created football fans. We are the football fans. The Raiders don't have nothing. The Bills Mafia, all of that, they don't have nothing. Yes, a lot of those things have more success than us over the years. I get that much. But as far as an organization, a city, fans, what it means to, you said Jordan S. Look at Jordan right now. Jordan only won 6 championships in the city of Chicago. Did it really well. He's still the GOAT, even though there's other players who statistically doesn't think is better than him.
Man, he's not the GOAT.
See what I'm saying? He is. He is. It's okay. That's not even a debate. I'm not even saying
right.
He is the GOAT.
I just had to say that.
He is the GOAT, but it's people with more championships. It's people that, it's people that want to go to LA because that's where all this. Yeah. You know, people went over there doing it. You know how significant that is. It's nothing. It's nothing. Everybody comes there. Every actor that's an actor lives there. You know what I mean? Every great Laker that's a Laker. It's like so many jerseys in the Raptors. They don't have a ceiling. Like you do. Or do you want to be that Michael Jordan where no matter what happens when you're done with your career, people still are buying your jerseys. People are still going to be wearing your shoes. People are still going to be talking about people even after your records. Like, that's what you want to be, Caleb. That's what you said. And this is the city to do it. So
he did say he wanted to be immortal.
Be excited about it. Jordan is immortal.
I mean,
be excited about it.
Caleb wants to be immortal. Chicago is where you can go. And if you... let me rephrase that. If you go to Chicago and you succeed in the way that you anticipate and that he is expected to, then he will become immortal. Now, if he goes to like for example, the Patriots, because they have a very long storied history with Tom Brady. If he goes there, I wouldn't necessarily there'd be constant comparisons with Tom Brady. And so kind of like how LeBron, before he went to the Heat, he was talking about, there was a time that they were talking about him coming to the Bulls in that offseason. And one of the things that I'd heard mentioned was being here, he would be constantly compared to Michael Jordan. To be fair, that's going to be no matter where you are.
It will.
But in Chicago, the comparisons would be all over the place.
You got a cat walking around you or something?
Man, I don't know what it was. I just had a whole. We start talking about Jordan and him not being great. I'm so allergic to
Yeah.
We start talking about Jordan not being a GOAT. Like
damn.
Allergies start coming up because
he's allergic to bullshit. Is what it is.
I'm allergic to that nonsense you talking about.
Because y'all going too far. Y'all going way
but seriously
too
though,
far.
guys, honestly, for what he's saying, he should want to come to Chicago.
He shouldn't, though. He shouldn't. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. You can be forced to go here and then ball out for us, but there's no way you can say one of these college quarterbacks, unless you're just happy to have a job. You can't say he should want to come to Chicago. Why?
I mean, given the situation, I mean, if it was reversed and he could go pick where he want to go, of course, yeah.
But I'm just saying, why all of a sudden are Bears fans acting privileged now? Like, yeah, I get to make the decision. You do what and you come here and do what I say. No, we're not even like that. Act like we're not like that. We're not a franchise that's like that. Let's act like how we are. All of a sudden with Justin, we were just happy to be here. Now, since we got the pick and we got Caleb, now we want to act like we calling the shots. And it's like, come on, man. Hey,
we just going off what
Hey, Six Ward said he said bless you because your ass.
I
is
know I'm going through it. I'm probably
it.
going to get off in a minute. That's how I know we're going a little bit too long. But no, the thing about it is, I'm going off what Caleb said he wants.
Yes.
He said he don't say I just want to be a great quarterback. I want to be in the Hall of Fame. I want all this stuff.
Yes.
Do that anywhere. He said I want to be immortal.
Yes.
You think LeBron is immortal in Cleveland, even though he brought them a championship?
Yes.
Nah. He's gonna be. He's immortal.
He's
gonna be LA, not the world.
You think LA? Oh my God, LeBron is immortal in Cleveland. No, not just Cleveland. He is immortal in Ohio. Are you crazy? Oh my God.
You talking about for the people? You talking about for the people in Ohio, right?
Everything. What you talking about?
Not the people in Hazel Green, Alabama. If you ask somebody in Hazel Green, Alabama, they gonna talk more about the LA LeBron telling you in the future, and maybe the Miami before they go into the Cleveland one. Even though the Cleveland was probably great. Just period. People, fans, even people.
Oh, well, if you want to go there, then Jordan not immortal. Jordan not immortal for Chicago.
Go to Hong Kong. Why not? Go to Hong Kong and tell
he's immortal for the NBA. Jordan is an NBA's fan. He's a basketball fan's player. He's not Chicago's player at all. He's not just for where Jordan play. He was the Bulls. But when you talk about Jordan, he's definitely not the Chicago fan base's player. He's a world player. He's everybody's player.
I think that is what
the concept would that be immortal? That's exactly what it means.
No. I'm not saying he's immortal. But first of all, LeBron James is definitely on that magnitude worldwide too. I'm saying as far as Cleveland, he's immortal in Cleveland for sure.
I didn't mean in Cleveland. I meant because of. Because he did something in Cleveland that nobody else done.
Because of Cleveland, well, he's played on 4 different teams. So I mean, and he's won a ring everywhere he's been. So I mean, I think he's immortal because of his NBA legacy. Jordan, I'm just saying, when it comes to Jordan, people don't tie Jordan to Chicago like that. He's just Jordan. You know what I mean?
That's just not. Oh God, it's like saying Jesus is not in the Bible, Mark. That's not true. Oh, you can't say that.
We could go like 4 more hours of this.
I'm starting to sweat up here. I'm in the kitchen cooking. I feel sweat coming down inside of my because you're making me mad, bro. Like I am starting to get really annoyed with you.
And you should be, if you truly believe what you're saying. I disagree. That's crazy. Jordan is immortal because of his sneakers. Not because of
for on the.
Hold on, because I got another comment off in the pop up that's funny. But he said Destin said Derrick Rose is Chicago immortal.
Right, in the city of Chicago. Yeah, he's ours.
Jordan ain't. Jordan is not bigger. Jordan ain't even bigger than Derrick Rose right now in Chicago. He's not. Because
my whole thing is, how are you gonna?
I think I would disagree on that one.
You can't put Derrick Rose. You're measuring Derrick Rose to the stick that is Jordan. Jordan is the scale in which we are measuring these other people too. And that's what I mean. That's what immortal is. It's like Caleb could go out there and win 3 Super Bowls for Chicago in a great fashion for Chicago.
I do this.
Look, I'm telling you. Look, he can win. He could probably win less Super Bowls than Tom Brady. Not break as many records that are Peyton Manning or something like that, but be a Chicago Bears quarterback that is so good that you say, look at this. Look at this. There's we have no Belichick debates. We have no Phil Jackson debates. We're not having those we won't even be measuring Caleb versus anybody else other than look at what he did in Chicago, no less. And
I love this shit, man.
It will be bells ringing across the Pope will show up. Like, this is what Caleb could do. Because he's a Bears quarterback.
Dude, look, we are going way too long, but it's obviously still people here watching. So obviously we talk about something that's entertaining. Subscribe to the Go ahead. Get y'all last.
No, I'm finna let y'all go home. That's Stacey King. Drive safe, man. Be beat, man. Let me get y'all out of here. Oh God.
Yeah, hey, that went off the rails, but I love it. I love that we can do that. We can spark debate. We've had like 3 or 4 arguments in our chat today because of what we were saying. Subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast on YouTube. Hit that like button. If you watched at any point during this live, we went way longer. We went longer than when the Justin Fields trade went down. That's crazy.
You right?
My boy Chef West.
I requested I had something to do, but that's all right, man. This is funner. This better. Boy Chef West out here.
My boy Chef West debuted his alternate ego, his new persona. He said, save me a plate if it ain't burnt. Yeah, we gotta get a Chef West segment going, maybe 5 minutes or something every week or whatever with the gear on. But like I said, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, the Black Bear Podcast. One word, no spaces. Find us on Facebook and YouTube. We out of here. My boy Devin here, my boy Chef West in the building. Catch us next week, Saturday at about 3:30, 4 o'clock, same time. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Black Bear Podcast. Peace out.